Yo, 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 this is DPS Podcast. That's Damage Per Second Podcast, episode 251.
Episode Nightingale.
That's right. 251, and we are back on a friendly Friday night. Feeling all right. It's gonna be a friendly Friday night because we're not gonna get too wild tonight. We're not gonna hurt nobody's feelings. We're just gonna talk some about some games we playing. We'll talk about some crazy latest gaming news, and then we're just gonna just keep it a buck about some of the fanboying that's been going on around here.
Oh.
And not quite the fanboys you think I'm talking about. We got some other fanboys. They don't think they fanboys, but they got a lot of fanboyish behavior. So we'll get into that real soon. I'm one of your hosts, SloMoBackSlap. Over here is our co-host, Gaming Forte. Forte, what's up, bro? How you been, man?
I've been good, man. First of all, I missed you, and
I missed you too.
And second of all, Call of Duty Midnight suck. Just to say, but
wait, what?
Call of Duty Midnight suck.
Oh yeah, the reason why we're doing this on a Friday, yeah.
Yes,
so how'd that go? You had to do the midnight launch for Call of Duty last night.
So I told everybody throughout the day when I was coerced to do this midnight. But I will say this: customers were very happy because they were very content to come and pick their game up. But when they found out what they were doing at midnight,
you didn't have any pre-orders, so the people just showed up.
Yeah, people were calling, and they were like, "Are you doing a midnight?" And I said, "Yeah, we're doing one." And a whole bunch of people. I had like 40 people that showed up at the midnight, and it was way more than the pre-orders. Like I was like, "Man, most of y'all didn't even have a pre-order." And a lot of people was like, man, yeah, I was going to come get it tomorrow, but y'all did a midnight. I really appreciate you doing it. And that made me feel good.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
Is it odd that you didn't have any pre-orders for a Call of Duty?
Yeah. Well, Call of Duty has become more and more of a online a game that people buy online at this point now. And I think I think it's more due to the fact that the Vote Edition gives early access, or does it even do that anymore? Does the Vote Edition give you early access?
They didn't do it last year. They didn't
and I don't
do
think
it last
did it this year either.
I don't think they did this year.
I think
either,
people have just gotten pretty indoctrinated into the shout out to the indoctrination theory. I think people just been indoctrinated into the fact that they think that they're so used to buying Call of Duty and getting the Vote Edition, and they would buy it digitally because that was the only way to get early access to it. Now people just buy it digitally in general, even if with them not offering that now. So I think Call of Duty is predominantly digital down. I mean, most games are digital download, but Call of Duty of all games, I think, are like that. But we did sell a lot of copies of the physical copy. And the thing that made me say I hate Call of Duty Midnights is you tell all these people like, yo, we're doing a midnight. We're going to reopen at 11:30. And so you could do your number, place in line, blah, 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 blah. No, I had 3 people in my store all the way to 11:55. And then remember when I told you it was over 40 people? They all showed up at midnight slow-mo.
Oh no. Come on, people.
All showed up at midnight, bro. Like I literally
40 people.
Dog, literally one of the customers, he was at the door when I got there, and he's like, yeah, he said, I really appreciate you doing this, bro. I said, no problem. You can come in the store with me. And he was in the store literally cause I reopened at 11:30. And me and him, it was just me and him standing in the store just talking until it was like 11:48. And he's like, man, he said, I thought it would be
like, man.
He said, I thought it would have been more people here.
I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, well, he said, I'm sorry that you came up here just for me to get this game, but I still appreciate it. I said, yeah, no problem, bro. It is what it is. And then literally one person walked in like at 11:51, another person. And then he's like, man, there's nobody in here. Where everybody at? I was like, I don't know. I guess I said, I'll be going. My problem was I said, I'll be going home playing Call of Duty in the next 15 minutes. And guess what?
You should have never said that, man. Why would you say that?
I don't know.
You can't say that, man. As soon as you say that, it's like the universe goes,
Click.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? So literally all these people just, it's like a school. It was like, I say, is there a school bus outside?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I said,
Where is the this is the wrong one. Where's my
really?
oh really is gone. Oh, there it is.
Really? That was just long
That's the one
gunshots.
I wanted.
No, but yeah. So I was sitting there and I was like, is there a bus outside? Where all you people come from? Literally. And they say, oh, yeah. We're here to get on Call of Duty. He said, I think so. So I ended up not leaving my store until close to 1 o'clock because of that.
Oh man.
And then
That's tough.
And then I jumped on. I had already installed it. I jumped on, played a little bit, probably to like 1:30, 1:45. I saw that you weren't even online, so that's why I was like, well, I said I'm not calling this dude or texting this dude this late. If he ain't online, he sleep.
I was passed out before you even got started with the midnight. I told myself, yeah, I'll be awake. Forte get done, he hit me. We jump online, we run a few matches, probably not too much. You know, we both got work in the morning, no big deal. It had been about maybe 2:30 in the morning where I woke up on the couch. I was just like, whoa, what time is it? Because I was like, so I'm trying to rewatch Stranger Things. Because you know the final season starts soon, so I was like, well, let me just rewatch all
we just finished
the seasons.
We just finished our 5th playthrough in the last 2 years last week.
Good grief! Yeah. I haven't watched any of them since the last season, so I'm really kind of rusty. I remember the highlights, but I don't remember a lot of the detailed stuff. And so I'm watching them. I may be on like episode 5 of the first season. Passed out. I was like, oh, no big deal. Let me see what time it is. 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go to sleep. Cause I know Forte, I ain't even check. I just like know you not on. So I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's no big deal. But I did get a chance to play it a little bit today. So I ran maybe about good 5 or 6 matches. But no, my bad. Go ahead, man.
No, so yeah, you text me, and that's the funny thing. When you text me, it was like 2:30 in the morning, and I had just laid down to fall asleep.
I didn't text you at 2 in the morning, did I? What up?
Oh no, you text me in the morning. No, you text me in the morning, like 6
okay.
o'clock in the morning.
I was going to say, I was like, was I that out of it? I don't remember.
No, guess what? No, I was just out of it like that because I didn't officially fall asleep until like 2:30 in the morning or 2 something. And I had to get up and take Peyton, my youngest daughter, to the bus stop. She gets up at 5 and she has to be at the bus stop at 6:30. So 2 o'clock, going to sleep around 2:30, waking up at 6 o'clock to take her. So that's 3.5 hours of sleep. So I saw your message when I was taking her to the school. So it was around 6:30 this morning. And I was so tired, sleep deprivation and all. It felt like it was 2:30 in the morning. And then I said, you know what? And you know what it is? I took her to school. Well, not to school. I took her to the bus stop. And then I got back in the house. It was about 6:50 when I got back in the house. And then I looked at the wall and I laid down. And I said, you know what? I need to go back. I'm going back to sleep. But then I remembered, not only is today Call of Duty launch day, it's also a Pokemon day. And a brand new Charizard set comes out today. And I'm going to have probably 100 people outside my store. And I was like, and we open at 10. And then I know there's going to be like 100 people outside. So I said, you know what? I laid down and then I looked up and I said, I can't go to sleep. It is literally 7 o'clock in the morning. I need to take a shower.
Hold on. It is wild that more people showed up.
Oh, for Pokemon?
For Pokemon.
Cards, not even the game.
Call of Duty.
Cards.
Some cards.
Cards.
Then Call of Duty.
So I get to
wild
so
times.
I get up. Yeah, so I get up and said, you know, I'm about to just take my shower now. I took my shower, ate some food. It was about 8:15. And I said, you know what? I might as well go up in there early, just so I can like work the line and talk to people and blah, 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 blah. So I get to the store, and guess what, SloMo? There was only 15 people in my line when I got there. It's like, oh, this is still more than Call of Duty at the beginning of the day. And then I let people in my store because it was kind of chilly outside. I let them in the store a half an hour early. And then all of a sudden, once again, now I would say the same thing I said about Call of Duty. This is why I hate Pokemon launches. Everybody showed up 10 minutes before we opened and was like walking in the door. And they were like, oh, everybody's in. People, because usually they're like, oh, there's a line. So we wanted to like gauge how much product there was, and nobody was outside because everybody was in the store. So people walked in, it was like, oh my God, everybody's in the store. That's why I don't see no line outside. They was like, oh man, I thought I hit the gold mine. Nobody was in line. I was gonna be able to get what I wanted. And then I walked in the store and then I saw all these people. Go ahead.
It's gonna sound real slanderous, but I bet you your store stunk today.
Ooh,
yeah, I bet your store smelled like stale BO, Mountain Dew, Doritos, and
no, you know what?
Fruit Loops.
You know what? I will not. That is a whole nother story, but I will not disrespect my because they did not. I will say that I haven't experienced. They didn't stink. But needless to say, everybody showed up in the last 10 minutes, and I was ringing up Pokemon cards literally for an hour and a half before I was done with customers. I spent more time selling Pokemon than Call of Duty today. And that was wild.
On the launch day of Call of Duty.
Literally everybody asked me, they was like, how did your Call of Duty launch go? I said, bro, I think I probably sold 20 copies of Call of Duty today. Versus Pokemon, literally for an hour, the whole first hour and a half of the day was nothing but selling cards to people. And I had a lot of it too. Like when I'm telling you close to like a good 500 or 600 different items for Pokemon, just all of it was gone in the first hour and a half. Crazy. But to go back to your BO thing. I never told you this because it's very traumatic. My daughter, once again, my daughter had, state champions for marching band. They played at Forte Field. This was on November 1st. They played there. So that was their last competition day, championship day. I told you they finished 11th in the state. But that wasn't a problem. As we were leaving, my wife was giving me this look the whole time we were there, and I thought she was just like making fun because she's not into the whole band thing like that. She was just there to support her kid. So once she saw her kid play, she was ready to go. And you know how that is.
Understandable.
But yeah. I said I wanted to say, I'm taking the whole thing in. We paid $31 a person for these tickets. We definitely stay and watching this whole thing. So I thought she was just kind of like ready to go. And she was just dealing with it because of me. No, SloMo, that was not the case. As we were leaving, after they announced the award, bro, no, I didn't even smell nothing then. People were super nice. People were like, "Oh man, you're with Dakota. Your band did awesome. Your drum line is incredible. I've been listening to them for the last couple of weeks, and I really love them." I said, "Yeah, thank you." I said they were top 5 in the country last year. She's like, "Yeah, it makes sense." And I was like, "Cool." And then let me tell you, I got to the top of the stairs, and this is like when you're out of the, you've been into an arena before. So when you're walking up the stairs, it's a single file up the stairs. Then you get to the concourse where everybody's walking around with a food court is. Mm-hmm. People are like crossing your path. This one lady, my God, she was walking from left to right, and she was looking for, like, I guess her daughter or her best friend was like behind me to my left. So she saw her and she was like, "Hey girl." And when I tell you, I smelled every piece of boo-boo that she ate the night before. Her breath was so bad. Dog.
Wait. You smell every piece of what?
Dog. When she would just imagine somebody in front of you shouting, "Hey girl," to somebody that's behind you right in your face. And their breath smells like the ass, like Kratos' ass cheeks.
Okay. Cause the way you phrased that the first time, I was just like,
dog.
Because you said every piece of boo-boo that she ate the night before. And I was like, This woman eating. Okay, go ahead. My bad.
That's what it smelled like, SloMo. That's what it smelled like. It smelled like she was eating horse manure the whole day before, and decided to.
That's wild.
It decided to spray in my face, and me to smell all of it. Like, her breath was so foul, bro. And then, you know, once you smell one person, you start smelling them all. I'm like, y'all don't take showers.
Don't you hate it? Don't you hate it when like you get like a foul smell in your nose and it just, even though the odor is gone, it like lingers in your nostrils and you just can't get rid of it. Like you need to just go like find some like cologne or perfume or something, just spray it in the air and just like really try to change whatever the odor is to get it out.
I've been to Fort Field before around a bunch of people. Now, granted, the people I was around probably were clean, but this is the first time, bro, that I like that was one of those odors that will stick with me for the rest of my life, bro. I could not. I could not. Like somebody would ask me one day, what was your worst experience in life? I will have to tell them this story because I felt like I was about to gag. And then when I told my wife, she said, "I was telling you. That's what I kept trying to tell you while we were in the stadium. When I kept looking at you with my nose turned up." She's like, I was like, "What? Really?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, I thought you were trying to go." She said, "Well, yeah, I was trying to go, but she said the dude in front of us smelled like caked on ass."
Oh man.
Dog, it was bad, bro. It was bad. But yeah, that was my story. But outside of that, yeah, played a little bit of Call of Duty and that was it. What about you?
Well, as you see on the Jumbotron, I've been playing a lot of Outer Worlds 2 over the past week. I'm near the end of the game. I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. I think Obsidian, you know, I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed Avowed. I thought Avowed was all right, but I enjoyed this one more. And look, I really enjoyed the first game too, so I fully expected that kind of experience. But the kind of build that I've settled on is very gun based. I got this SMG called the Rookie. And like they have, initially I wasn't too impressed with their unique weapons. Like I thought that the unique weapons they had in the first game were better, but now I'm starting to kind of come around with the ones in this game. The Rookie's cool because it's like when you get it, I probably was like level 20 something when I got the gun. When you get it, it's at level 1. And so it's not doing too much damage at level 1. And it also has a slow fire rate, doesn't do too much damage, but the more enemies you kill with it, the more it gets starts to level up until it starts to fire a little bit faster, do a little bit more damage. Now it's nasty. Now I need the Rookie. Now it's a Hall of Famer, you know, it's a veteran, you know what I'm saying? That gun's awesome. I'm enjoying that. That's like when I'm up close and personal, that's my main driver. And I'm using this other sniper rifle. I forgot the name of it. I feel like it's I'm not going to guess the name, but it's a sniper rifle that ever since I got it, it's been one of my equipped weapons because when things get hairy and I'm like, you know, I don't know if I can like really be too close to these enemies. There's too many enemies. They're doing too much damage, that kind of thing. I hang back and I'm just picking them off with it. So like those two have been my mains. I got this. The perks in Outer Worlds 2 are always so awesome because and then there's perks and then there are flaws. And so a flaw is essentially the game pays attention to how you play the game, and then they will introduce a flaw and be like, "Hey, we noticed that you tend to reload before your magazine is empty. So I forgot what it's called wasteful. I think it's a wasteful flaw. So they'll introduce this flaw where because you reload so often, you get more ammo dropped from enemies. But the negative side of it is that because like if you go to vendors, there is a surplus on you of like 25% or something like that. Like that's the kind of stuff that they'll do. And so you don't have to take on the flaws, but it's pretty cool. It's a very unique thing that Outer Worlds does. They did it in the first game. They're doing it in this one even more. They also have this one flaw called flawed, where you don't have a choice. If you get a flaw, you have to take it. But the bonus side of it is that for every flaw that you have, you get a base 5% additional damage. So it's just like, if you want to kind of take on that trade-off, you can do that. It's going to make the game significantly harder because you have no idea what the flaws will be when they occur. But it's pretty interesting. I like how they do that. Some of the perks that I have are also pretty good. I got this one perk called Psychopath, where essentially, if I kill a human, I have a percentage chance to basically take their heart out. And what you do with their heart, what my character does with their heart, I don't know. But every heart I take, I get +2. Permanent +2 on my health bar. So I'm just kind of enjoying how that stuff works out. So I'm really enjoying the game. I mean, overall, I still think I enjoyed Overwatch 1 more. And that's for 2 reasons. The first reason is I think I like the story in Overwatch 1 more. The story in Overwatch 2 is pretty good. Just the story in 1, I liked that solar system. I liked the plots that were happening, and it's just 2 does a lot of that to a large degree. It's just the characters aren't really resonating with me as they did in 1, and that's the other thing. My companions in 2 are just, they don't really interest me. Maybe like 1 or 2 are I find interesting. The others are just kind of blah. And I really enjoyed the companions you had in Outer Worlds 1. So that's how that is. I did finish Dispatch. The last 2 episodes came out last Wednesday. And I think that one now has enough reviews that Metacritic gave it a rating now, which is a 90, which is, and that's in that 90 group with the handful of games that have hit that this year. I just keep it a buck. This is like the best kind of Telltale kind of game that you can play. It's probably the best one that I've seen in years. It's got excellent writing. And now that I finished it, I can definitively say the writing is excellent. The voice acting is top notch. And I'm really looking forward to what Ad Hoc Studios and Critical Role, I think, is the other studio that helped work on it. I'm looking forward to what they're doing in the future. And then also, like you, I started Black Ops 7. So I played about 5 or 6 matches today. Started to really, I spent a number of time playing around in the settings, which, by the way, because of course it's the Xbox PC app. Every time, half the time when I would finish changing a setting, my game would crash. And so I'll have to restart the game over again. Luckily, the settings that I changed stayed. It just would change and then crash the game. But I spent a number of time doing that. And then when I got into playing the matches, I've already adjusted to the changes they've made to aim assist. And we can get into the impressions of it later. I think some of the whining is, just people, as I typically say, just, not trying to get good. As
they always do. But,
right.
I have Peyton here, and she finished Dispatch, and she has something to say about it. So SloMo, she can hear you.
Okay.
What do you have to ask her about Dispatch, SloMo?
Let's see. I don't want to do any spoilers for people who haven't played it yet, but I would say it like this. Did you pick blonde hair or did you pick black hair?
I didn't pick any of them.
Oh, interesting. That's a very interesting playthrough. Then that's so you basically was just like, nah, forget both of you. I get that, especially considering how the last episode
was
played.
going down the Blonde Blazer route, but due to something I did in the game, it did not tell me I successfully did anything. So,
Okay. How did you like the quote unquote gameplay? Because this is a game where you don't actually move your character around. There's a lot of cutscenes, and then the actual gameplay is you being the dispatcher, where you're choosing which hero to send in which scenario. Like, how did you like that kind of uniqueness of the game?
fun. It was very fun. It was very fun because I mean I played games before where it's like a story choice game where I really don't do anything, but it was fun.
Mhm.
Like it was fun doing it was fun just doing the thing like just sending heroes out or yeah.
Trying to choose the right hero for the right situation. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I like some of the tension when it's like 3 to 4 alerts come up and you're already got people out on a mission, and then you don't have enough people. You gotta start kind of making tough decisions on who to send, who not to send. Do you wait a little while? Do you give someone coffee so they can get off a rest? Like all that. And I guess my only gripe really was with the hacking, because I had a couple situations, and I played it twice. I played it on stream, and then I played it off stream where I made different choices. And on stream, it was wild. And I think it may have been episode 5 or 6, where like I was doing the hacking and then the game would freeze. And then I actually lost like 20 minutes because I had to restart the game, and it doesn't auto save very frequently. So when the hacking happened, it hadn't done an auto save in like 20 minutes. So I lost like 20 minutes on stream. That was pretty annoying, but outside of that, I really enjoyed it. I thought the story was good, the writing's good, the characters are dope. Who was your favorite character?
What my favorite character? What was it? I think it was a tie. It's anyone. I think I like all the characters especially the ones on the Z team because it's like it's fun. It's like fun because like all of them they have like all different personalities and like they're all like it's like each of them are heroes, but they all have like different personalities and how they view being a hero. And like as throughout you go to the game, every one of them kind of gets more along with each other, and they mostly get along with the dispatcher or you, and it gets funner throughout the game. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
What did you think of it?
Ever think of it?
Yeah, what did you think of the game?
I love the game. I feel like it could have. I wish, like, there's some characters I wish I had more screen time, because like
who?
Blonde Blazer,
Oh yeah, I
Blonde
can see
Blazer,
that. Yeah.
she barely had any screen time. Like, once you get to like the final 2 episodes, there's more screen time for her, and like other characters. Like, I really wish we got like more information about other characters, especially for people in Z Team. Like, how do they become a villain, or like how did they become a villain, or how did they got redeemed in the end eventually, or like how they like learn how to get along with Robert, the dispatcher, or with the team, and how they feel with the team and stuff.
Yeah, some of those things got answered in the deluxe edition. If you get to the deluxe edition, which I got after I bought the game and I started loving it, there is like these digital comics that are a part. If you go into the extra section, or where they show your choices, like an option beside your choices are it's like a art gallery where they kind of discuss, or they kind of show you like a storyboard thing of how they created the look of the characters, and their like, I guess, their mindset on why they chose certain things. And then it was there's like 4 digital comics, and those comics kind of get into like some backstory on the Z Team, how they how they were as villains, how they ended up joining the superhero dispatcher network, stuff like that. It was pretty interesting, like backstory stuff that I guess they just didn't have the time to fit into the game. But yeah. Thanks, Peyton. Thank you, Peyton, for your opinions. I appreciate that. It's good to hear from a gamer that plays games. You can get to discuss these things with someone who plays games. It's just no shots to anyone that's in the room over there. Just saying.
All right, Peyton, you are dismissed. Thank you. Love you. SloMo being messy now.
I am. But are you ready to get into these topics, sir, man?
Yeah, very, very messy. But if I was to tell you how crazy she was going, like the last episode, SloMo, it was wild.
I was not. I played on the interactive side.
Wild.
I was playing on the interactive side. I was going interactive, not just watching.
All right. Are you ready to do these rapid fires? I may have lost you, Forte. I don't hear anything from him.
You said what?
Forte? Are you ready to do these rapid fires?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Oh, really? Right. N7 Day was last Friday, and if you don't know what N7 Day is, I don't know what you're doing here. You're not a real gamer. I'm kidding you. You can be a gamer. Anybody. N7 Day celebrates Mass Effect, and BioWare announced that Amazon's upcoming Mass Effect TV show will be an original story that takes place after the trilogy, which is of course the first 3 games. We're going to pretend like Andromeda don't exist. In addition to this, director of the game Mike Gamble, who is a Mass Effect veteran developer, said that basically he reassured fans the next Mass Effect game is still in development, because considering everything that's happened with EA being sold, there are a lot of people that are somewhat worried about what may be happening with the Mass Effect series. He said that the game is still in development, and if you looked at the blog, he had he had what's the word? How you say it? He had a different font, because I can't see the word right now. He had a different font for certain letters, and people saw the code and they figured it out, and it spelled out Krogan. And then later on in the day, they revealed the screenshot of concept art of Krogans fighting one another with the word Civil War at the bottom. So we don't know if this is an indication of something that's going to happen in the new game or the TV show, but it may be a little hint of what's coming in the future. Forte, what are your thoughts about all this Mass Effect stuff?
I just need the game to come at this point, bro. These concept. Remember last year they did the picture of the concept art. Was it like the outside of a ship or something? If I remember correctly. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, this all looks cool, but when's this game coming out? And I feel the same way. At least this is got a little bit more substance to it. At least what the what the characters you're looking at are. Listen, man, I just want this game to come. Pause. I just wanted to be here, and I won't say high hopes for it, because I feel like this game has went through a lot of development frustrations, and especially with the whole the fact that they had to come out and quell the mind share on the fact that EA was just purchased up with private and everything. I also think that's probably I won't say who bought them isn't a good thing, but them being a privately owned company kind of might benefit, because they're not beholden to what shareholders have. Because I feel like that's all.
But then if the people, if it's a singular voice, that has the vision, but their vision ain't that great. Yeah, that's it's a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword. So for me at this point now, I just take a huge wait and see on this one. It's like whenever N7 comes around, I always just pop in the game and I play it a little bit. I went out and bought some merch. I bought they had the the black, red, and white hoodie with the
I saw
N7
that.
on it, the
I saw
zipped up
that.
hoodie. I bought
I
that.
have an N7 hoodie, but mine's gray. I
Yeah.
need a black one. I need a black
Yeah, I bought that
one. I
black
have
one
an
as soon as I
N7
saw it.
mug as well.
You said you
it's
got
a
a
little tiny
mug.
little mug. Yeah,
Shout
I'm
out to
a
the mug.
I'm a coffee mug collector. Like every time I go on vacation, I make sure to like if it's a new place I go on vacation, I get a coffee mug from somewhere that has
Right.
the name of it. But I got coffee mugs for days. It's ridiculous. I'm a coffee addict.
So you're
just
that
me.
person that stops at Starbucks every holiday and get the holiday mug that they have.
Oh no, I don't. I'm not. Well, I'm a coffee addict, but I don't really care for Starbucks that much. But like, no, I just if we go to Hawaii, I'm
Mhm.
coming back with a mug from Hawaii.
Oh, absolutely.
Just cause it's always. And then, if I grab a mug because I drink coffee every morning. If I don't have it in the morning, it's going to be a problem. Okay, like I'm going to be in one irritable a-hole. But like I can pick and choose which one it is, so like I got a Scumcast mug, I got a Crossfire mug.
I got a Crossfire Scumcast mug. Shout out to Scumcast, man. Shout out to
I got an N7 mug. I got all kinds of mugs, man. I got an Avengers mug. That's the one I got from Disney World last time we went to Orlando. It's a big, massive.
How's that mug standing up today?
It's kind of beat up because the kids sometimes use it for other stuff. But anyway,
what do you use a mug for?
All kinds of things, apparently.
They put paint and stuff in it?
Yeah, man. I haven't drunk out of that thing in a minute. Just
move on.
Yeah. So I agree with you that the fact that you even have to tell people that, hey, we're still making the game is kind of
crazy
in itself. I still believe that. Look, I'm not saying the game's not gonna come out, but I believe that unlike previous EA developers that have been shut down, that this is a bit different.
Mm-hmm.
That so for those who may have forgotten or were unaware, like this acquisition happened where this private firm spent, what was it, 45 billion, I think?
That was 55 billion.
55 billion to acquire them. But they borrowed from the company.
They just put it in debt
for 20 billion of it. So it's just like, which is crazy. And so they have to pay that back. Wells Fargo is who financed it. They have to pay back Wells Fargo 18 billion by the first quarter of 2027. And so this kind of changes things, because if you kind of look at their financials, like EA does pretty good, and EA was not in debt before this happened, but now they're in debt. And EA typically probably they probably earn a good 6 to 8 billion annually, but that's just revenue. That's not profit. That's not minus their expenses. And although they do make a profit, they don't make enough to make up 18 billion that you got to pay to Wells Fargo in less than 2 years. And so in the past, EA has not been known to sell IP that they're not using. They just sit on it. They're not known to sell studios. They just shut them down. And former BioWare developer, director Mark Dara explained this really well in one of his streams on his channel. He said that like there's unfortunately there's EA executives that just care more about their own personal, professional advancements and saving their own skin. And they're not going to sell an IP for someone else to take the IP and make it successful, because then it makes them look bad. They're not going to go sell a studio for that studio to go on to be successful, because then their superiors look at them and say, why couldn't you get that out of them? And so they just make sure that's not a possibility. But at this point, sure, you can shut down BioWare and save yourself money from not having to pay for medical benefits, their salaries, the cost of keeping the lights on in the studio, XYZ. You could do that. But that's not going to be enough for you to be able to make up the money that you need to pay back the debt that you're in. So you can get them off your books, and you can sell these really popular IP like Mass Effect. You can sell a studio that's making the game to someone that is willing to take that on, who believes that it can be really successful, make themselves a lot of money. And now you're not just taking away some of your expenses, you're making some money while you're taking away some of those expenses. So I still believe that is going to happen. So I do think that we're going to get this next Mass Effect game. It's just not going to be it's not going to be by EA. And that might be a good thing. You know, maybe their next publisher will be a little bit more forgiving and a little bit more open to the kind of creativity that the studio used to be known for. But I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to see.
Cross that
Anything
bridge
else you
when
wanna
we
say
get
on
there.
this?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
You're gonna love this. Death Stranding
Oh, man.
has an anime coming out.
Anime.
An anime called Death Stranding Isolations. It's going to be a new animated series that's coming to Disney Plus, of all places, in 2027. Forte, since you are such a huge Death Stranding fan, what are your thoughts on this?
It's definitely gonna be better than the game. Because in order
How dare you, Kojima fans are upset.
Listen. The fact that I think this will do really well as a show, because I think the premise of the game is I think the premise of the game is sound. I just think the overall execution of how you get to what actually makes sense in the game is the problem. Getting to they always tell you it's not about the not about the destination, it's about the journey. When it comes to this game, it's not.
Hold on. So in a game where there's a character named Die Hard Man, and Dead Man, okay, and in a game like this that came out of Kojima's drug-addled mind, supposedly drug-addled. I don't want to get sued. With no gameplay in the anime, you think the anime would be better than the game?
Yes, I do, because I think they'll be able to get the journey will actually be, because I think the destination is actually pretty interesting inside of Death Stranding. Once you get past all of the fluff that they're doing to build up connecting the world and all this other stuff, and now you're finally getting to see what really BTs are, and how to fight them, and the beach and all that other stuff. I feel like it's more, and then once you get to the outside the tutorial level and you start seeing Fragile and delivering packages and getting more of a sense of the struggle that a lot of these settlers or these outposts have been, being kind of weary of being put back on the Chimera network and everything, and not trusting the company and the corporation and wanting to be off on their own. I think there's a story that can actually live in cinema when it comes to that. It just, but the only, I think what you're going to say is, how do we know that Kojima is not going to make this even more convoluted?
It's going to be
than it already
weird.
is in the game.
It's. I don't know what convoluted is, but I know what convoluted is, and that's what this is going to be.
Convoluted.
It's going to be massively convoluted, It's going to
Yeah.
make no sense. It's going to have tie-ins to the game. It's going to have tie-ins to Death Stranding 3. It's going to have tie-ins into real-world politics. It's going to be all kinds of Kojima fans going, see how he's making this parallel between this and I'm like, I don't care. I'm not watching it. You know, I hope you guys enjoy.
I hope you enjoy.
We'll
enjoy the
definitely
process.
pass. Right.
No,
anything else you want to say on this before we jump on the next one?
No, I think it's going to be very divisive for a lot of people, but I also think if it's done right, it can actually land, because I think in an anime setting where there isn't really rules per se, I think he can actually open up and do whatever he wants, because a lot of stuff in animes don't make sense, like the things that they do, powers that they have. So I think that stuff can make more sense in an anime style. Like, think about, what's the name of Edge Runners for Cyberpunk? Like, Edge Runners.
That makes sense though.
It does make sense, but it does make sense.
Like,
but
don't come for Edge Runners, okay?
Oh, no. Edge Runners. No, Edge Runners is incredible. But guess what? Okay. Edge Runner also enhanced what Cyberpunk just happened to already be good. Edge Runners just made it enhanced the experience. So I can see something like a Death Stranding anime if they can nail the story aspect of it, because I think when it comes to like
weird like voice effect going on right now.
Is it? Oh shoot!
Charizard, something in the background.
Is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone now.
Yeah, Charizard's tail was laying on one of my pads.
What?
Peyton had came down here and set Charizard down, like my big giant Charizard plush, and set it down, and his tail was laying on top of one of my my keys, and it was doing it.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Go ahead.
But yeah, I just think that if and this is a big if, because it is Kojima and he has this very big personality where he feels like he's the biggest mind in the room and he wants everybody to hear him. But if he actually steps back and just less is more and just deliver a great story around the visuals that you can have inside of a Death Stranding movie or anime. And honestly, I feel like if he can find a way, but this also, if he can get,
when he was with Kojima, those stories didn't make a lot of sense. Solid Snake, Liquid Snake, Nasty Snake.
But they were good.
You know, Slithery Snake, Big Boss,
man.
Boss.
What you know about Big Boss, bro?
Little Boss, Middle Management Boss. Like, it's like what is these names? Like, it's I can't. I just can't.
Only time we'll say, but I will lean more in your direction that a lot of people that it's gonna be a hard hill to climb, because he just likes to really overdo it when it comes to certain things. But I will say Death Stranding in an anime form does have a really good chance to like kind of bring people into the franchise.
I would say this. I would say this for him. I would say it wouldn't surprise me at all if the animation is fire. Because he's a very visual, like, presentation and direction kind of dude. Like, you see Death Stranding 1 and 2 look beautiful. Like Metal Gear has always been on the forefront of like what visuals could be at the time periods that they came out. It wouldn't surprise me at all that in a different medium, he's definitely making sure that his animation isn't like run of the mill stuff. Like it's top of the line, buddy. You know, like it's really up there. So I expect that to be fantastic. And we can move on. You ready for the next one? Forte?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, really? All right, cool. PlayStation, excuse me. PlayStation has State of Play for Japan. I'm gonna say that for again, for Japan. A state of play for Japan on Tuesday. Prior to this live stream, Sony has also dropped the price of the PlayStation 5 in Japan. And this shows the show itself, though, seemed to be, from reactions online, to be a bit of a disappointment to some gamers who watched it, who aren't from Japan. But again, the show was for who? Forte?
People from the Rising Sun, Japan.
Yeah, Japan. So it's a show for Japanese gamers. And so a lot of the questions I saw people saying is, why are they reiterating all this other stuff? I don't know, maybe because they haven't focused on Japan in the past 5 years. Why are they showing these games that's already came out? I don't know, maybe because Japanese gamers don't even know that the PlayStation 5 had those games. Why am I seeing, that these kind of games that I'm not interested in? Maybe because you're not Japanese and they don't care about what you're interested in. Guy who lives in Idaho. I don't know, buddy. If you were in Japan, you say you're not interested in it, then that might perk their interest. But they clearly made a state of play for Japan. It wasn't even in English. You had to watch it with subtitles. Why was it not in English? Because in Japan, English ain't the primary language, because it was for Japan. So I just found that was odd to see so many people going, this is trash. All right, well, it was trash for you, European guy. Who's not in Japan. Who's not in Japan. Forte, what were your thoughts on the state of play?
I thought it was pretty interesting. Like you said, a lot of the stuff that we were talking about, like the whole conversation was like, why are they focusing on this? Why are this? Because there was a lot of retreading. But I think the biggest thing that you said is the fact that they didn't focus. They haven't focused on Japan heavily in a while, like years at this point. Especially, I think this is mostly due to, and I don't even really think it really has a lot to do with the PlayStation 5 in general. I think this is more tied to the Portal, because we know that Nintendo has all the mind share over there. And the fact that with the new update to the PlayStation 5 Portal, or the PlayStation Portal in general, being able to allow you to stream games that you own digitally, or games if you're inside of their premium service, and you can stream all the games that are inside of there that have that as part of the service without having a console. I think this is who they are really, really marketing and pushing this towards, because we already know that it's not that consoles are dying in Japan. It's just that the whole attitude around how you play games is just shifting. Like, shout out to the Iron Lords. When they were there, Nintendo has a beat you upside the head presence where everywhere you go, you see Nintendo. If you're not seeing Nintendo with Mario and Zelda and Metroid, you're seeing Pokemon on the other side of that. So they have a huge market share there. And it's basically shown by the fact that they have saturation marks when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 1 and the Nintendo Switch 2 over there. This is like their biggest opportunity to like gain some of that market share back. Like, I don't know if it's possible, because I feel like the games that they make aren't the games that really, really speak to everyone, versus, everybody's grown up in, they all know who Mario all is, and they know who Pokemon and stuff it is. It's a completely different demographic in gamer now than it was even 5 years ago that played these type of games. But I do think the fact that they're bringing this update to, or they brought this update fully to all the handhelds when it comes to the Portal. It's not in beta anymore. It's a live and breathing thing. And the best place that this is going to work is in Japan, because we already seen that Japan is more adept to actually doing things like streaming where they have some of the best Wi-Fi in the world. And this would be something that would kind of lean into the ability to, like, if you're on a train and you got a hotspot, you can play your PlayStation games wherever you are. So I think that's more where this is kind of sitting to, and that's kind of the avenue that they want to kind of live in. But it also doesn't hurt that they dropped the price of their PlayStation over there to, you know, try to entice people to like have the whole suite when it comes to like play PlayStation games while you're at home, but also play them on the go if you're on the go and anywhere with an internet connection with the PlayStation 5, with the PlayStation Portal. So I think it's a two-pronged attack, but in general, it's more about what that handheld is going to do for them over there. Because I do think that is probably going to be the barometer they're going to use when it comes to their next handheld. Right now, they don't have a system that's in handheld form that can physically download media straight to it. If this does happen to pick up and they do gain a little bit of market share where they feel like it's a sustainable market for them to grow it, then you will see them probably pivot away from it just being a strictly digital, you know, online device when it comes to streaming. This is an easy thing for them to kind of, you know, just, you know, nurture and bring over to be able to see if people are really truly interested in this, or is it pretty much gone when it comes to the games and stuff that they're making. But I think that's mostly what this showcase was about. It was pretty cool. I do like it. And shout out to the people in Japan not having to deal with tariffs as much as we do, because the system is mostly being produced in territories that don't have them over there.
Right. And they don't have to worry about that, the tariffs situation.
Nope,
and
don't have to worry about it.
It's their home country, so they can lower the price as they see fit. And but people forget that back when this generation's current console generation started, PlayStation under Jim Ryan switched what is typically the action button, or the dominant button. You know how like on a PlayStation controller it's X, on an Xbox controller it's A. That's the button you kind of like, you activate your action button, you do everything on. When you're in the menu, that's the button that you're confirming that you're going to
actions
go
with.
Yeah. And whereas with Nintendo, if you have a Nintendo Switch, that's not A. It is A, because I think they reversed A and B, but it's essentially what is B on an Xbox controller or circle on a PlayStation controller is what that confirmation button is in menus and games. And that's just kind of the way it is in Japan, and period. That's what they expect. And, well, I mentioned all that because back when this generation first started, they reversed that for the PlayStation 5. And it became a very non-Japanese kind of mentality to go about things. And I don't think that really went over well with your home country. And I assume that when they do PS6 that they'll revert back to what's familiar to them. Because I mean, honestly, like, I don't even understand why Nintendo does that everywhere else, just because you're a Japanese company and that's how you do it in Japan. Where it's the same way that they should have never changed that for the Japanese with PlayStation. Nintendo needs to change that for everyone else, because it's annoying where I have to go into, and at least they have a setting in the Nintendo Switch to reverse it for the entire system. But like, I shouldn't have to do that. It just should be what the region finds acceptable.
What can you reverse?
You can reverse the A and B
you can?
actions. You didn't know that?
No, you talk about because
man,
bro. No, I never knew. I just dealt with it. It is so annoying. Wait, hold on. Are you serious? So you can literally
go into settings. Go to controller.
I'm doing it.
Scroll down, and you will see. It will say something like reverse B and A or something like that, something to that effect. And you can do it. You can do it for your Joy-Cons, and you can do it for whatever like third party controller that you're using.
Oh my God. Are you serious? Bro, do you know how many times I be fighting with the controller in this? I'll be like, dog, it's so
it's annoying because
it's
you have muscle
memory.
memory. Yes. So you shouldn't even have to do that. You shouldn't even have to do that. And the fact that you didn't know that and you play on your Switch more than I do, you just show, like it's just why make it more difficult for other people? Just reverse it for other regions. It's not that big a deal, but whatever, right?
I did not, bro. I did not know. Oh, I see it. Oh my God. Now. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dog, it actually functions like Xbox now.
Yeah. Now, in some games, this becomes a problem because I feel like in Fortnite, for example, if I play Fortnite on Switch, I feel like Epic tried to correct this on their own individually. So I haven't figured it out. It's just like sometimes like the right button doesn't press correctly because I have like system wide it reversed, but Epic tried to fix it knowing it was the wrong way for other regions. And then with Cyberpunk, all the buttons are wrong. It's just I think this must be like a bug they gotta fix because like getting out of your vehicle is the wrong button. Going through a computer and hacking or going through messages and files is the wrong button. Everything's the wrong button. But for the most part, you can now play, once you got that reverse now, you can play like 99% of the games as if you're playing on PlayStation or Xbox. So,
man,
you're welcome.
Thank you. I did not know this. This sucks. I might replay Zelda or Metroid because of this.
To get back to the topic, so I think that they've refocused themselves in Japan, and that's cool because it's a region where they lost influence and they need to get that back, and you gotta do the things that people, the gamers in that region find important, the kind of games they like to play. You have to focus on those things in order to kind of, get them on board. When you ignore them and think you already have them already and you always will have them is when you realize that you lost them. So, moving on, to go back to Dispatch. Dispatch, is now being, so we talked last week about how they sold 1 million copies of Dispatch in 10 days, which is fantastic. And last Wednesday, when the last 2 episodes dropped, they had a peak concurrent player count of 220K players on Steam. I think it's always kind of important when you bring up Steam concurrent players because Steam is very open in what people are playing. And so it's always Steam that people go to when they talk about the success or the failures of a game. I think that can only really be shown in success, but not failure, because it's not the only platform this game is on. So if you get like nearly 250,000 people playing your game at once on one storefront, that's amazing.
Yep.
But if it's the opposite, if it's not that many people playing on Steam, that doesn't mean it's a failure. Like I say that because we're going to get into some people's use of Steam concurrent player counts as a means to say something is failing later on, because it's just like you're ignoring the fact that this game is, a lot of these games are on a PlayStation, on an Xbox, on Epic Game Store, on Windows, Xbox PC, on so many different storefronts. So that like you could say clearly that for Dispatch, 220K players is an awesome thing without having to see the rest of the numbers, because you don't need to see the rest when there's that many people playing on that. But if it's a low number on Steam, it's not a guaranteed indication that it's the opposite. I just need to say that because we'll talk about it later. But the good thing is that in light of Dispatch doing so well, Ad Hoc Studios is now considering doing a season 2 of Dispatch. So that's awesome. And additionally, apparently they had announced this a few months ago, but really nobody was paying attention because a lot of people wasn't paying attention to Dispatch, except for me, because you know, like if you were someone who watched the last few episodes of Scumcast and DPS last year, 2 games that I said I was excited for coming out this year were Dispatch and Expedition 33, and both of them have turned out to be fantastic. So my taste, I mean, I'm not trying to brag, but it's pretty damn good. Anyway, Ad Hoc Studios had announced that their next game will actually take place in the Vox Machina universe, which is this popular animated series that's on Amazon Prime Video. I don't know if anyone else has seen it. I did watch the first season of Vox Machina. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't get a chance to watch the second season yet. Forte, have you ever heard of that show?
I have not.
It started out as a graphic novel. It's now an anime. It's actually pretty good. I would say check it out. It's on Prime. I think it's still on Prime Video. Where I watched the first season was on Prime Video, but their next game will essentially be a part of that universe. So, Forte, what are your thoughts about Dispatch and having a season 2?
No, I actually started playing. I haven't finished because I had to work this whole week. But I started playing episode 1 to play like the first hour. So I'm gonna go back and do it because I ain't gonna lie, watching my daughter play it and hearing her scream and stuff, and then hearing you talk about it. I watched a little bit of your stream and stuff when you were playing it. And I always like the Telltale style of games and stuff. Like I beat Borderlands, I beat the Game of Thrones one. I love the Game of Thrones one. And then of course all the Walking Dead ones were really good too. So seeing that this is kind of in that same vein was something that I was like, you know what, cool. And I can just play this on my laptop. I can play it wherever. So that was really cool. So the fact that it did, and I always want to see games like this do well because it shows that people still have a hunger for a game like this. And it shows developers that, you know, just because the game isn't a 20 million, 30, 40 million, $100 million game that it's not going to sell, there is still an audience for games like this. So good for them and all the stuff that they did. I really
remember hearing people say that Telltale games aren't like, they're not worth making anymore because they don't sell. And I think a lot of that sentiment came from the fact that Telltale themselves got very stale in their approach, in their format, in their game design. And these guys, Ad Hoc Studio, are former Telltale developers. They are, and apparently former Ubisoft developers too. It's funny how all these former Ubisoft developers is making all these great games. I wonder what Ubisoft is doing the whole time when these people have all these great ideas. Anyway, some of these guys who are Ad Hoc now were working on a Splinter Cell game that Ubisoft canceled. And so they also, you know, become Ad Hoc, which, you know, were also Telltale developers that were working on A Wolf Among Us 2. And they were trying to evolve the Telltale format to be a bit more, you know, current with how people wanted to play games, to kind of, you know, get rid of some of the mundane, boring aspects of it and kind of just focus in on the parts that people really enjoyed and loved. And, you know, we get Dispatch out of it. So I'll say this. I've said this multiple times. You've heard me say this before, that the industry will be fine. I remember people always, you know, being worried about, where the industry's going. These big publishers, all they care about are, you know, just sticking to what works, what quote unquote works, what sells. They don't want anything creative. They don't care about taking risks, taking chances. That's fine. That's fine. Let the big publishers keep doing what they do, and all their really talented people will leave, start their own thing, and they'll give us that creative, awesome, unique experiences that we end up enjoying. It's organic. It happens. It'll continue to keep happening. It is what it is. I think I cut you off. My bad.
No. That's it. I agree with you. I just think in general it's good to see games that do well be successful and be ultimately granted with a new lease on life for another time around. Like, all you can do is ask for the opportunity. It's not to say that the next expansion is going to be just as good, because you never know. It's on them to do it, but they proved that they can make a game that is successful, that a lot of people resonate with. And we just heard the opinions not even 20 minutes ago of, an older statesman in SloMo and the new generation, my daughter that's 14 years old, and
older statesman.
The older statesman, SloMoBackSlap, the older statesman, the man that is north of 40, having a conversation with a young lady that is
and my track star
south of
from 15. Dispatch Now.
Right. but that's the thing that's the coolest about it. So you guys both enjoyed the game, and you probably weren't as super rambunctious and emotion and like hanging on the tips of every little thing that happened. And when she saw that certain characters were there, she like blew up, and I'm listening to her scream and stuff. You didn't do all that, but I guarantee you the story was just as impactful to you as it was for her. Y'all
absolutely.
Y'all both just took it in two different ways. And that is the mark of a great game, because you got older people that really enjoyed it for what it is, and then you got younger people super excited to see where it's going to go next. And that's the cool thing about it.
Yeah. Let me try to speed up some of these rapid fires. Arc Raiders has sold 4 million copies worldwide so far, with a peak concurrent user number of 700K. I don't know if that was just on Steam or that was combined with all the platforms over this past weekend. Additionally, Arc Raiders still has more live. This is from what people saw today. Arc Raiders has more live viewers watching it on Twitch than Black Ops 7, which just came out today. And I guess the question that we can ask ourselves real quick is I think I already know the answer, but is Arc Raiders here to stay, Forte? What do you think?
Ask me that question in 3 months, and then ask me again in 6 months, and then ask me one calendar year again. Exactly. right now, a lot of people are still in a honeymoon phase. It's something different. It's able to, and this is the fault of just live service in general. When you get people super invested in a game and then that investment dries up, they're looking for the next fix. Sure, they'll go out and they'll find other games that they can play, but nothing scratches that itch like a live service game. Nothing scratches that itch like something that is similar to what you were playing already. May not the same type of game, but the gameplay is kind of the same, where you're doing all these different things, but it's doing things that you wish the other game that you enjoyed did. So it's like that dopamine hit that you're getting that allows you to like kind of persist in that genre or in that world. And that's right now, I feel like that's what, our Raiders is living off of right now. Sure, it's a good game. I definitely will never take away the fact that you aren't doing something right, because in order to like pull people away from the games that they're pulling people away from, it still matters. Even if those companies aren't doing everything they should be doing to keep people inside of their coffer. But it also, how we always talk about it every year. So it always comes down to that 3 months, that 6 months, that year. What does your concurrent look like then? Because, right now everybody's loving it, but are you going to maintain that like some of these behemoths like Fortnite and, even Destiny, when it came Bungie with Destiny, are you going to sustain that long term? Yeah. That's the main reason why I tell people, like when I told you that I wasn't going to get at some point, I probably will get it, but why I was so vehemently not going to do it, because this is the type of game that you kind of like, especially with the way that I played Destiny, I can see myself, if this is even half good, I can see myself like, yo, this is cool. I like this. And then I start comparing it to the things that Destiny was that they weren't doing and this game is doing. And then it becomes even better. And then I find myself just stuck in this notion waiting for updates to come out and everything.
I feel you on that.
So I just cut myself off.
I bought Arc Raiders last Friday. I have yet to start. I have yet to boot it up because I just know myself, and I know if I'm really digging it, I will end up being like, "Oh, X game came out. I missed that.
I missed
other
it.
Game came out. I missed that. I'm like, I know myself. I will get too deep into it. I'll be in here. I'll be out there, befriending." Groups and helping them out and
in Discord,
hey,
helping people, making new friends.
No. Hey, that weapon over there you looking for? There you go. Yeah. And then
making videos on it. Nope.
And then betraying them right when they think they look. I've been down that road, okay, and I'm trying to be a better person.
Well, the thing, and it's not, and this isn't a shot at like Arc Raiders in general. It's more of, I told myself when I put Destiny down, I told myself I would not allow a game to do that to me again, because it wasn't, and inherently it wasn't anything like, I'm making it seem like it was like horrible what Destiny did. No, I enjoyed it.
Oh no, it was horrible what Destiny did to you. I tried to help you for years.
No.
And shout out to COG, because COG was another one that was, y'all were addicted. Y'all were base heads for Destiny.
Base heads.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like talking to y'all about it was just like painful sometimes.
There was no talking to us about that game, bro.
Because the cap levels were through the roof. Like whatever meters that would measure caphood, they broke when they tried to measure the amount of cap y'all would have on that game. And now it was good to see that you guys are out. You're out of rehab. You're not on that stuff.
I'm not going to AA meetings no more.
Yeah, it's good to see that now. But
But inherently,
I don't want you to get back on the drug.
Yeah, but inherently, it like I said, that game, 10 years, amazing, loved it. Abusive at some points, definitely, but still amazing. But I told myself in June of 2024, right when I bought, Jesus, what was the name? Oh, Final Shape. When I bought it and I beat that raid, I was done. And I told myself I would never do it again. And Arc Raiders looks cool. I ain't gonna lie. It definitely looks cool. It's not to say I will not jump into it and play it, but I have to see a sustainable roadmap in that game, long term, to even put, because it's one thing about jumping into a game and enjoying it and playing it because it's just that good, but it's also just fine. It's also a whole nother thing just playing it because you're just addicted to it, and no matter what you do, you just keep playing it, even if other people want to play other games. Like SloMo would say, want to play some Call of Duty? Nah, man, I'm playing Destiny. So it's like you just put other games off. Like I told this story, and we're gonna move on. There's only one game I've ever put Destiny down for. Well, 2 games. I take that back. I put it down for Battlefield, and I put it down for God of War 2018. Those are the only 2 games I've ever put Destiny down for. And we all know how many games come out in a calendar year. And then we're talking about the GOAT, some of the best years in gaming from 2024, between 2014 and 2024. 10 years? There's a lot of good games that came out, bro. Like, I never beat Red Dead Redemption 2. Never. I played a little bit of it, never beat it. Never beat Cyberpunk. Never beat it. I played a little bit of it, never beat it. Never. It's so many games I could just go down the list. Oh, Halo Infinite. I did beat Halo Infinite. I did beat Halo Infinite.
Yourself of great experiences.
And that's what this is about. But
Yeah.
it's cool that they got the numbers because trust me, it's not easy to maintain that type of active users on your game, but we just got to make sure we see
But
what the long tail looks
this isn't
like.
unique. This isn't like X Defiant was
True.
was getting these kind of numbers at this period of time after its release. It had like 10 million players play the game in its first week.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually did better than what
Yep.
you're seeing from Arc Raiders right now. And a year later, Ubisoft was announcing they were shutting it down.
Yep.
This is how things can change so quickly when it comes to live service games. So let's just kind of like pump the brakes on it. I'm glad it's doing well because I like Embark. I like the finals. I think they do good multiplayer experiences, but we need to kind of be a little bit realistic on how, and understand how these things play out before we just go ahead and say, oh, look what it's doing. I'm like, look,
Right.
it's doing fantastic, and I'm glad it's doing fantastic.
Yep.
Check in with me in June, okay?
Check me in June.
And because a game like Fortnite is still out here doing what it's doing, and Fortnite, for our last rapid fire topic here, is coming officially to the Xbox PC store on November 18th, and that's something that I have to admit, I thought Epic would never break their PC storefront exclusivity for Fortnite, but they're doing it. Same day that they're the Fortnite subscription service, Fortnite Crew, will be available to Game Pass Ultimate members. So I think, just real quick, Forte, I think this is happening because I kind of brought up the question of how this dilemma would get rectified before with Xbox becoming a PC centric platform. The money that they generated from Fortnite came from the version of Fortnite that is a specific version that runs on the Xbox consoles. Now, when you switch over to a PC storefront, so like the Xbox Ally is a PC handheld, the new Xbox will be a PC. Now, you're going to be missing out on all that revenue, that 30% cut of revenue that you were getting off of every microtransaction that came through from Xbox gamers on your platform. You're missing out on a large amount of money on PC because the only place to play Fortnite is through the Epic Game Store launcher, and Epic isn't giving you a cut just because the game is just so happy to be played on the Xbox Ally, just so happy to be played on whatever the heck this new Xbox is going to be called. And so now I guess this is how they have rectified that. Microsoft is paying Epic to have Fortnite Crew bundled into Game Pass Ultimate. And also now Fortnite is available on the Xbox PC store, so they will still get that 30% cut or whatever percentage cut that they have negotiated. Because as I recall, some months back, I recall Microsoft announcing that they had lowered their cut of their revenue split on the Xbox PC app to something like 12%. 12.5%, 30%, something like that. So it actually probably isn't even the 30% that they were getting off the Xbox app. But hey, 12% is better than 0%. So Forte, what are your thoughts on this this changing in ideas from Epic?
No, as soon as I saw this, I said it makes sense because they are in this partnership with Xbox and Microsoft when it comes to Game Pass Ultimate and the Fortnite Crew being a part of it. I was like, okay, cool. This is only on console, and I guess this is, a reason to own the console. If you play Fortnite on Xbox, and you will keep it. But now that they're moving this over to PC, it's just definitely like what you just said. Like it's some money exchanging hands for this to happen on top of it. But because this isn't happening on like Steam, like you would think that they would open, if they're going to open it up to Microsoft, they would open it up to Steam, but they didn't.
Nah, they're not doing that.
No, they're not. Well, that's Xbox
there's a couple
Xbox
reasons.
Go ahead.
Steam is the big kahuna. That's your competition. They took it off of Steam because if they put it on Steam, see, the Xbox app actually has, if not less than similar market penetration on the PC storefront side of things as Epic Game Store. So they're somewhat of an ally. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. Hey, GOG, you in on this Fortnite too? Because they need to all band together against the big dog. Because from what I saw, Steam is 78%. I think that's what Matt Piscatella recently had displayed the data on. Steam has 78% of the market share of revenue that's generated on PC through storefronts. And that other 22% is everyone else. And so you're not going to go give Steam, and that's what the way things are with Fortnite. You put Fortnite on Steam, you're just increasing that percentage and making it harder for your storefront to survive. And I think Fortnite being exclusive to that storefront is the only reason why the Epic Game Store even still exists to this day. So putting it on Steam is just, they won't do that. They absolutely would not do that. I'm surprised they did this, but I think this is also because they're looking at the amount of revenue that they made off of the Xbox platform, and they don't want to completely lose that. Sure, some of these people are just going to go jump on the Epic Game Store once, on this new Xbox PC thing, but it's just too much uncertainty. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with that. I do. I think that is the biggest thing. And then who's to say that, it's not like Fortnite's already a free to play game. You're just giving more incentive to having Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for a game, and it will just bring more people into your ecosystem by allowing them to be able to access all those things, which will allow them to probably buy and pick up more packages, because it's one less thing they have to buy from Epic when it comes to the monthly membership. I'd rather have a bunch of people in the membership inherently and spending money on things, because this is the one thing I did realize about revolving services and stuff. I think Fortnite Crew is like $9.99 a month or something like, or 14 or 13. So it's something like that.
Yeah, it's like $10 a month.
$10 a month, and you get the battle pass, and you get V-Bucks every month.
Right. Which, if you think about it, okay, because I'm a Fortnite player.
Yeah.
The battle pass, can you get the battle pass with the music pass, which is another little thing, with the OG pass, which is like for the OG map, but you get like, you can use the cosmetics anywhere, but like it's essentially three. It's like one big battle pass with two little battle passes all combined, and that and you get all of that. But the battle pass, it's not like you get a new battle pass every month.
Right.
It's for 90 days, so it's like for 3 months. So after that first month of this season, you're still paying the same amount of money, but you're getting less new content for what you're paying for. You may get some new skins that are exclusive, but it's not always something real dope that like everyone wants. Like one time they had the Weapon X version of Wolverine in Fortnite Crew. That was the only time I ever really thought about subscribing to Fortnite Crew. I know a lot of people are in there, but not me. But that's the only time I was really like, oh man, I really want that. And what ended up happening later on is that Weapon X Wolverine ended up in the store for me to just buy outright without having to get Fortnite Crew to get it. But for the most part, it's just like some Fortnite character they created, which some of them are dope looking. And I'm like, oh yeah, let me get that character. That character looks cool. But a lot of times it's just like it's just another Fortnite character, whatever, you know. But like, it's $10 a month, like we said. I don't know how much Microsoft is paying Epic to get it into Game Pass Ultimate, but it must be enough for them to tie it off to Ultimate and not have it with the premium and standard tier. You know, it's gotta be enough for them to be like, yeah, we need $30 a month out of you in order to justify giving this to you. But I think a lot of that stuff is the reason why this happened. This is clearly a negotiation between two companies in order to come to a meeting of minds where they both get what they're looking for, and this is a huge bonus to both of them, and especially in light of what we're going to talk about in the last topic, because not everyone has Fortnite. And some pieces of hardware won't be able to play Fortnite either. But we'll get into that. Anything else you want to say before we get into these real topics?
Nope, that's it.
Not real topic. Okay. We talked about Destiny before, but we're going to talk about it one more time. Destiny 2, according to Sony, has not reached expectations. And according to Sony CFO Lin Tao, regarding and quoting her regarding Destiny 2, partially due to the changes in the competitive environment, the level of sales and user engagement have not reached the expectations we had at the time of the acquisition of Bungie. Whew. Okay, let me continue. While we will continue to make improvements, we downwardly revised the business projection for the time being and recorded an impairment loss against a portion of the assets at Bungie. Ooh. So with player counts dropping drastically in recent months, I gotta ask you this question, Forte. I think you would be the perfect person to ask this. Is Destiny 2 potentially going to get shut down? What do you think?
Destiny 2. All right. The only way this game is going to get... Okay, there's two ways this game is going to get shut down. First way, and the most unlikely way, is if Marathon does great and they'll shut it down then. Once Marathon gets its footing, and if it does, it comes out the gate and they fix a lot of the issues and people forget that they stole other people's property, then the game will be, then I think they could sunset Destiny. The only other way this is going to happen, and I think it's too late for this, honestly, is Destiny 3. I think this should have been the pivot day one. Like, Marathon should have been the long-term goal. Like, you know, the game that you put like 10 years of, or 8 years of or 7 years of development into, where Destiny 3 should have been the thing you should have been working on since like 2018 or 2019. It should be coming, or 2021. It should be coming out now. I just think it's too late. And not to say it's too late for Destiny 3 in general, because I do think if Sony was to give them the time, and that's a big stretch based on how much money Bungie brings in, right? Well, how much they use up and absorb. If they had the time, I think if Destiny 3 was to be a thing, it wouldn't reignite the Destiny franchise, and people will inherently fall in love back with Destiny again just to see how it is. That's not to say they'll stay, because the game has to be good enough to keep them there. But I can see a lot of people, even myself, jumping back in just to see what Destiny 3 is, because it's a franchise that we spent over 10 years with, and we want to see, like, you know, even if you're a person that doesn't like Destiny, you would be interested to see you may not play it, but you'll be interested to see what it would be. So I think that would have been the thing they should have done. I just think it's too late at this point, because I think
I agree with that.
People's gaming habits have changed drastically even since Destiny 2 in 2017 has come out. And when you start adding on all of the missed opportunities, the different situations that Bungie find themselves in, even just Bungie not being Bungie anymore, honestly, when it comes to it, and other games just being better and being able to fight for your time. I just don't know if they would have the time. I think Destiny 2 could do something if it was coming out now. I just don't think they have the time to be able to go into development, even with a game where they already have the blueprint in place, because I feel like Destiny 2 needs to be done in a newer engine. They need to get rid of the Tiger engine, which is like old skeletons of the original Halo engine. A lot of that stuff needs to be retrofitted and redone. I just feel like it's just too late for it at this point. So what do they need to do? I feel like they need to cut the umbilical cord on Marathon. And unfortunately, they need to do something that reunites the Destiny franchise and ride that franchise somehow for at least another couple of years until they can get whatever the next game's going to be. They need to, they got to do something, but, or the studio just won't be there anymore. And the funny thing is, I honestly feel like Bungie itself may not exist in the next 2 to 3 years. I think they'll just take all the talent and assimilate them into different parts of SIE, another PlayStation, probably build new studios and do something else and change, new studios and build different names and stuff. It's more likely that Bungie underneath Sony will become a defunct developer than it is for them to have the time to build something else. And this is all based on if Marathon doesn't do well. Because if Marathon doesn't do well, I think all these things are going to happen, unfortunately, because they just don't have time to build anything else. Like, Marathon was supposed to be it. And that's a hurtful thing to say for a person that loves that company. And but that's the thing. I love the company. I love the name of the company. I just don't love the things that the company has done over the course of the last couple of years to put themselves in a position where this can even be a situation. We start thinking about BioWare. Like, we all know BioWare is not BioWare anymore, but we still hold on to the hope that when we get that new Mass Effect game, that we can get that BioWare magic. And that is on a horizon. We just don't know when it's coming. We don't know. The next game that Bungie has coming out isn't even going to be a game that a lot of people are even going to care about. So what does that mean? And so I don't know where the evaluation of this is going to end up turning out. I do think Sony's going to put their best foot forward when it comes to it. But if it becomes more of a sunk cost fallacy, I can see them cutting this real quick and just taking the developers and moving them to projects where they're most needed in other studios.
Yeah, I think the key things here that really kind of perk my interest, not really my interest, but my attention is the statement they made about an impairment loss, about downwardly revising the business projections. It basically shows a lack of confidence in what Bungie is capable of doing. It's looking at, it's basically reevaluating the acquisition that they made and saying what we thought we would get from this is not what we're going to get from this. Not, we're doubtful. No, we're not getting the level of performance from this asset that we acquired. It's just not going to happen. And so I think that really kind of elevates the chances that you might end up shutting the studio down, or having it just be a shell of itself where you take many of the developers that work there, and then, kind of how they did with that Gummy Bears game, live service game. That team that was within Bungie that was working on that got spun off to a different studio to work on that game. Now, who knows how well that game is doing, but I could definitely see where like more of that happens. And to the point where, Bungie isn't really making games anymore. And I don't think it's a huge like uptick in the chances of that happening. But this kind of statement really is telling of where they are with the company, where they are with what they believe may happen with Marathon, and just their like you're talking about Destiny 3. And I think I pretty much agree with you. This is a little too late for that. I think that the game design of what Destiny 2 provides is just not what people are interested in anymore. A lot of people are just like, I don't have the disposable time.
Yep.
I don't have the free time to spend on this. If I'm going to have my very limited free time as an adult spent on playing something, it's not going to be this one game. Especially when, things that I work on, spend months on, and all kinds of hours on, you may take away later on down the line, even though they say they won't do that no more. But it's just like the fact that you did it in the first place just leaves a sour taste in people's mouth. I don't think Sony has any faith in them as a studio, as a developer at this point. And so we'll see how things go after Marathon eventually drops. And I mean, we can all be honest here. It doesn't look good for it. It doesn't look like it's going to do well when it comes out. So we'll see how Sony reacts after that happens. Hopefully Bungie has some other projects that they are in the concept phase with that are promising, and that could definitely kind of keep them going, get Sony behind them to fund these projects and keep the lights on. But I don't know, man. I think this is getting to the point where we're about to pull the plug on it, if you know what I mean.
Well, you might be right.
But let's discuss this other game that we both been playing. Black Ops 7. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 released officially today. And we discussed a little bit earlier, apparently, there are multiple games, live service games, that still have higher concurrent numbers than Black Ops 7 on Steam. Namely, Arc Raiders and Marvel Rivals both are showing higher concurrent numbers at this current time. I think it may have peaked at like a big number, but it's, for the most part of the day, it's been under 100,000 Steam players playing it, which, again, this goes back to what I was saying about how Steam concurrent numbers can be misleading if it's low or considered to be low. It's not taking into account the fact that Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is available on Steam, on Battle.net, on Epic Game Store, and in the Xbox PC app through Game Pass. So that's not basically saying, because there's, say, 86,000 people playing it on Steam right now, that there's only 86,000 people playing it on PC. And that's also not taken into account. There's a large number of console players that play Black Ops, so play Call of Duty. So all that to get out the way, to discuss what our thoughts are. Forte, what are your impressions so far? Have you played some of the campaign and you played some multiplayer? What are your thoughts so far?
The funny thing is, I think it's better, but have you ever, it's like, it feels like more of the same, but it does feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Single player especially, I think I'm really enjoying the single player as of right now. I expect it to be 4 hours long. It might be a little bit longer. It may not be the shortest campaign of all time, like Black Ops 3 was. Not Black Ops 3. Yeah, Modern Warfare 3 may not be that short, but I'm enjoying it so far. If I had to compare it to the Battlefield story, I still think Call of Duty in general does a better job and I think Battlefield immerses you just as much as Call of Duty, but Call of Duty just goes it's like the Michael Bay effect in Call of Duty. It's like, wow. It's like they start you off running in these campaigns and stuff. So that's always a good thing. Multiplayer, I played about, I want to say 11 or 12 matches in total.
Oh, okay. You had more matches than me so far.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. So I think in general, I still had to say gripes. It ain't going nowhere. People running around with guns that doing the things that they do. But I will say I like the overall matchmaking a lot better. It seems like it's a little bit more fair. Granted, it's day one. Everybody's SBMM hasn't kicked in. Their elos haven't adjusted. Usually by the end of the first week, you'll kind of see where you stand versus a lot of people. So that's still to be determined. I love some of the weapons. I'm using and I'm not traditionally a SMG type person, but a lot of the maps kind of, especially the parts of the maps that I be playing in, kind of really lend itself to that. I'm mostly an assault. So I'm really liking that type of gameplay. I'm mostly doing a lot of things that I kind of breaking habits. First thing I usually do is default to an assault rifle. I'm breaking that habit, switch to an SMG, moving around a little bit faster, playing around with different setups, using different sights and everything on my weapons, like more, instead of using like a 3.4 magnification zoom, I'm using, more like reflex sights and stuff like that, where it condenses your stuff to more close combat. That's really cool. But the one thing I will say that always plays Call of Duty is it's just like the cheesing of certain things inside the game. That is wild. Like the movement is definitely better, but people abuse it so much. It's like, you remember when they put locomotion in the game the first time? It didn't just, everybody would just dive around a corner until they perfected it to the point where it's just annoying at this point now. It's not as bad as that, because I do think, just some of the things that they changed, especially with you playing more people around your skill level right now, is not really apparent yet. But the biggest thing I like about the game is just it's a little refreshing. I do want to ask you, what do you think of, the biggest thing that I couldn't stand about Black Ops 6 was the customization screens when it came to your characters. I felt like all that stuff sucked in Black Ops 6. What do you think about what you've seen in 7 so far, the little bit of you played?
Well, that hasn't really changed much. So if you didn't like the way they did in 6, you're not gonna like the way they did in 7.
I was just hoping that it would get slow-mo. I was hoping it would get better. And it did not. So
yeah, the way the UI UX works is still roughly the same. They just kind of changed the way it looked, but the functionality of it is still somewhat the same. So like, if you know where to go to your loadouts, to change your loadouts, your score streaks, whatever, it's still there. Where you change your operator and how you change the skin of your operator, and all, if you bought something new, it will likely be attached to one of the, they might have a new little box for that new skin that you got, but potentially it may end up being a part of the another character or whatever that they use as a template to make the new skin, which I've always found annoying. So all that stuff is somewhat the same. For myself, I haven't played the campaign yet. I might never play the campaign. Like, I've never played Black Ops 6's campaign. I intended to, and then I didn't, because I just been playing the multiplayer. But from what I play of the multiplayer, it is where I thought it was with the beta, which is a good thing, because they now calling this open. So them with the very, very light skill based matchmaking, they're calling that open. Whereas their standard, really strict skill based matchmaking that everyone hated for the past 4 or 5 years is what they're calling standard. And so you have 2 different playlists. You can set your filters for which modes you want to play, and then you can also have it set to, like, there's a toggle where you can go from open to standard. And currently right now there's an open mosh pit for standard right now. So if you want the more strict skill based matchmaking, you can't just pick and choose which modes that you're going to do in multiplayer. You only have open mosh pit, which I'm not a person that enjoyed the skill based matchmaking from before, because I did, if you look at my stats, I did well. You look at my matches, I did well, but it just wasn't fun in trying to play with friends. It wasn't fun in just trying to chill sometimes and have a chill match instead of being a sweat fest the entire time. That wasn't fun to me. This is more fun, where the skill of the players in the lobby is not the only determination of who ends up being in a lobby. And so you're gonna have some matches where you're gonna get curb stomped. You're gonna have some matches where you're gonna do really well, and it's like it's people aren't the snowflakes that they thought they were. And for years, when people were saying this is not what we want, take it back to how it was before, and they poo-pooed that and said, no, you don't know what you want. We know what's good for you. You'll quit the game if we open things up. Well, they were wrong. And clearly they were wrong by how many of the playlists are in the open setting instead of standard. Now, when it comes to the aim assist, because we've talked about this in the previous episodes, that they nerfed aim assist. Forte, what were your feelings on how the game felt with aim assist and the changes that they made?
You know what? Until you mentioned that, I forgot that they nerfed that.
It didn't even affect you.
I ain't even notice it. I didn't even, you know why? Because it wasn't something I was looking for. I just went in and played the game, and I put my reticle on target, and I moved my thumbstick. And if I felt like my thumbstick, if I felt like I was accelerating too fast or not accelerating enough, I changed my sensitivity. Guess what? It was simple. And no, and this is me just being whatever. I'm legit serious. I forgot that they went back and they did nerf the aim assist, but I've never noticed it. I didn't even notice it, at least on my end. I guarantee you there was probably a couple people that was a little mad because I was moving a little too fast, sliding around a corner or something, and they missed me when in Black Ops 6 they would have hit me because aim assist was a little bit more prevalent.
Okay, so let me tell you about aim assist, what they nerfed about it, and this will explain why you haven't noticed it. Mm-hmm. So they nerfed rotational aim assist in Call of Duty. And so what that meant is that, like, in close quarter confrontations, from medium to close quarter confrontations, in order to activate the rotational aim assist or any aim assist whatsoever, you need to be actually moving your right thumbstick in the direction of the enemy that you're trying to shoot. And that's it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So all the talk from people about, they nerfed it, it feels terrible, that just it tells me what kind of shooter, how you play these games. Facts. Because it tells me that you're not even really aiming at people. Because what are you really complaining about? that aim assist doesn't activate until you actually start aiming. It's supposed to assist your aim. It's not supposed to aim for you. So if you're complaining about this tells me that you were never really aiming. That you were sliding around corners and letting aim assist aim for you, which I've seen at times. I've seen I get the jump on somebody. I slide or I jump around the corner and they slide around the corner at the same time. And then while I look in the kill cam, they ain't even looking in my direction, but somehow they didn't got a headshot on me. It's just like, I know sometimes the net code isn't quite accurate to what someone's doing, but other times it's just like, all right, come on now. Come on, buddy. That's not right. So this is where people are starting to get exposed a little bit, which, you know, I am all for, you know, forcing people to get good.
Facts.
Less crying, less whining, more gaming, more adjusting, more adapting, more learning. Do more of that. My first match got curb stomped. I was like, what in the world?
What's going on here?
And I had to stop for a second after that match, went into my settings, like, what am I, because I imported all my settings from Black Ops 6, because you can do that. You can import your settings. But that's not considering the changes that they made to Black Ops 7. I don't think that's something that you may want to do. You may want to tweak things on your own. And so I started making, like I said earlier, I spent a good amount of time earlier today tweaking settings, going in the firing range, kind of seeing how it feels, going to a max, see how it feels. And so I've done maybe like a total of 6 or 7 matches so far. But like the only bad match I only had one bad match, which was really like the first one. But like it was, I adjusted to the changes they had made because, I mean, I actually aim. You know, I'm actually moving my thumbstick towards enemies that I'm trying to shoot because that's called aiming. I don't know if people knew that or not.
Pretty simple concept, isn't it?
Right. So it has not been an issue for me, and I am enjoying the more relaxed matches that have been very competitive. I would say. I've only used one gun so far, which is the I forgot the name of it. It's in my gameplay right now. So whatever this gun is that you guys see is the only gun I've used, and I'm using the blueprint that they gave you for playing in the beta, which is pretty decent so far. So nice. I like the maps. This map in particular as well. I think this map is called Blackheart. I think this is what this one is called. It's probably my favorite map so far. I really like this map. I haven't really seen. There may have been one map that I was like, yo, I don't really care for this map. Maybe 2 of them. Maybe 2 maps so far. I'm like, I don't really care for it. But the guns are okay so far. I did play with other guns in the beta, and I thought they were all right. Better than how I enjoyed. Like, I really felt like Black Ops 6 had the worst maps and the worst guns for over the past, like, maybe 3 or 4 years. So this is an improvement upon that as well. So the wall jumping, you may see me do a lot of that in the gameplay, but I'm trying to make it more natural to wall jump around corners because players are less likely to anticipate that, and their crosshair isn't set for someone jumping around the corner. It's set for where someone's head would be if they came around the corner running or sliding. So I'm trying to get more comfortable mixing up how I do those things so that I'm less predictable and I can win one-on-one engagements more. But it's good so far. It's good so far. I'm enjoying it, and I can see myself playing this a whole lot more than I did with 6, which I play a lot of 6. I mean, I ended up with Prestige Master at 6 eventually, but
you ain't going back and playing 6 no more.
Oh no, I'm done with 6. And look,
that's what I'm saying.
I was
you
done
ain't
with 6
you done
when back in April. I was on it heavy, and then when Expedition 33 came out, it was just like a sigh of relief. It was like,
it's
okay,
over.
I got something else to play, legitimately play, and it's just like the desire to go play more Black Ops just was not there. I was building different builds in Expedition 33, which, you know, for those who don't know, there is no limited build diversity. That's, you know, if you know why I'm saying
Right.
that, because it's people out here with some insane takes on Expedition 33, but I didn't go back for like maybe 3 or 4 months to Black Ops 6 because I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't play it anymore. And this is very different now for me. Now, again, something that I noticed from last year.
What's that?
And this could easily happen this year as well, but just saying, last year Black Ops 6 had a strong opening, but almost everyone fell off. You look at the a lot of the concurrent numbers.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people fell off of Black Ops 6 after the first season came out.
Yeah.
And the
true.
massive disappointment that was. And so I'm hoping that's not the case this year. I'm hoping they continue to keep listening to gamers when they say, we do not want to see Chucky in the game anymore. We don't want to see Homer Simpson in this game. We want to see Bob's Burger and Beavis and Butthead in these games anymore. Cut it out. You know what I'm saying? So like, stop it. And so
Bob Burger.
but it's true. It's what they've been doing.
I agree.
And no one wants to see that. Look, I don't mind like the time they had Paul Atreides in Call of Duty, and I think it was Modern Warfare 2 or 3. I think it was 3.
Yeah.
That was cool. I was like, yo, I like that's because he's a warmonger. It's Call of Duty. All right, you know, like you got something that's similar to war. You know, there's nothing about war with Beavis and Butthead. It's just dumb. Nicki Minaj in the game is just dumb. It just doesn't make any sense. You put Lara Croft in there, and I'm like, okay, Lara Croft is a mass murderer. If you played all her games, she's a mass murderer. She kills entire small armies of mercenaries. That's perfect. Go ahead and put her in there. She's well known, and you're gonna get a lot of people. This is why I was saying, hey, look, put Master Chief in there. I'm cool with that. Marcus Phoenix.
I'm surprised with all the partnerships that PlayStation had that Nathan Drake never ended up in it.
Right. Yeah. Nathan Drake could be perfect. Yo, I'll buy that skin immediately.
The biggest mass murderer in game history right there.
Yeah, Nathan Drake kills about 200-300 people per game. Go for it, yo. What are you doing here? Like these the kind of like marketing partnerships you should have been doing to get characters in the game. Not freaking Snoop Dogg in a Christmas and a Santa outfit. Well, get out of here, man. So whatever. Anything else you want to say on this before we move on to the next one?
No, that's pretty crazy, bro. When I just thought about this, like, man, Nathan Drake hasn't been in this game yet. But
yep.
At some point, everything comes full circle.
Right. This one is sure that this I've been seeing this in the social media discussion a lot frequently. There's a new Horizon game coming out called Horizon Steel Frontiers. It's being made by NCSoft. And in being helped, I guess, with direction by Guerrilla Games, who of course makes the Horizon games. But this one is an MMORPG that's only coming to mobile and PC, at least at this time period. And on PC, you'll need to access it through NCSoft's Purple launcher. And that's not the color of the launcher. The launcher is called Purple. It's what it's called. It's called Purple. It's not even coming to Steam. And apparently this launch is pretty popular in like South Korea, but you know, it clearly this game is not for. It's trying to tap into different markets. Again, like I said, it's available on PC, but they have said themselves that this was specifically designed for mobile, and I've seen that before. I've seen games designed for mobile, but you can play it on the PC too. But when you play the game, for the most part, when you play those games, you can tell it's a mobile game. I think the most recent one that I played was Solo Leveling Overdrive, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's basically solo leveling. You what's his name? What is the guy? I can't now. I mean, I read Solo Leveling and watched the anime, and I can't remember.
Almost losing it.
Oh man, but
You lost
people gonna be like,
It's
"You
gone.
fraud! You fraud! You don't know his name." Look, something. You know what the guy's name is, okay? But that main character you're basically playing is him, and it's kind of like a retelling of the story, from like literally directly from the manhwa, and so the gameplay is okay, but it's definitely like that simple kind of mobile combat gameplay that you're playing. This looks a little bit different, especially on the melee front, with the way this is playing. I'm not the biggest fan of the previous Horizon games, but I like the way this looks though. I like this looks like something I might want to. I mean, now on the mobile, not on my phone, but like this might look like something I might want to engage in eventually. Now on a purple launcher, I'm not downloading an entire launcher for this game, but Forte, what are your thoughts about this? Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that it does feature a custom character creator. Of course, it's an MMORPG. Most MMORPGs will allow you to create your own character. Takes place in a region called the Deathlands, which is basically inspired by Arizona and New Mexico. So I guess that's supposed to be maybe not necessarily the region of the world where this takes place in, but maybe well, actually, I think I'm looking at it. It don't look nothing like Arizona or New Mexico. So maybe it is the region and not necessarily just the inspiration from the environment. Because it's definitely giving me that Kojima Death Stranding feel, where Death Stranding is supposed to be take place in the Midwest of the United States, and it look like New Zealand. And I'm like, this ain't no tag on Midwest of the United States. But I mean. That said, something to be aware of, because like this is not coming to a PlayStation.
Remember
at least not at this time.
Remember we were playing Death Stranding, and I was like, "This look like Montana."
Right, definitely don't look like Kansas.
It don't look like Kansas. Where was this game made? Montana.
I think people keep bringing this up, and I think it's an interesting conversation to have about why this is happening. But like, this game is available to be played, can be available to be played on the Xbox Ally, the next Xbox PC, hybrid, whatever that thing is, the new Steam machine that we're going to talk about next, but not a PlayStation. Now, Forte, do you think that's a big deal? Is that a big deal to you?
That it's not that it would be played on the PlayStation?
Yeah.
Nope. You know why? Because this is the plan all along. No, I won't say that's the plan. It's a game that is, with them making it. We always knew when we were looking at the next Horizon game that was being made, and they were talking about it being the MMO version of it, that it was automatically going to be something that was going to live pretty much on multiple platforms. Now, I didn't think it was not going to come to PlayStation. That I am kind of surprised about, but I'm not surprised about them using more of a PC ecosystem to like kind of, give this game the best chance to succeed, because that's where it's going to live, and that's where the bigger player base is going to be. Think of games like New World and stuff. Like, The only would that game had really survived and done as well as it did initially if it wasn't available on PC and it was just kind of tied to consoles. You know, will never know because that didn't happen. But if you just kind of look at just the way that, you know, games perform and things like that and the type of genres that work where they work, that would kind of be the thing that you would kind of take from it. But not coming to PlayStation is really interesting, but I'm not shocked, like I said, based on the type of game that it is. Now, just the game in general. I was going to say they're just going to bore me with an MMO version of the game. that's every time I think about Horizon, I just feel like I'm about to fall asleep. And the funny thing about Horizon is I have Zero Dawn, the complete edition on PC, because I bought it thinking it might be something different, and it said I wanted to see what it looks like on a PC. Because the one thing you can't take away from Horizon, that it's a good looking game, bro. Even Zero Dawn. Zero Dawn, great looking. PC, even better looking. It's crazy how good it looks. But I came downstairs 3 days ago while Peyton was waiting for the last 2 episodes of Dispatch to come out. So I'm looking at the screen. I was like, is this Horizon Zero Dawn? Because she was in a cabin looking in the mirror, like she was like real far in the story too. And I was like, how long have you been playing? She is like, probably like 15, 16 hours. I was like, what? And then I was like, do you like this? She says, yeah, it's getting better, but it's boring as heck though. I was like, I felt vindicated. My daughter said Horizon is boring, and she plays a lot of different things. But I don't know what they can do to just get people interested. I guess taking the fact that you said that they have basically a character customization screen. Maybe you just won't. Maybe them just removing Aloy and you having this not faceless, but just having this, you know, mom character like you have in a lot of other games where it's just your character and you're just interacting with the world. That might actually bring some people in because, you know, I think she's a great actress. I just don't like the way she was used.
Ashley Birch.
Yes. Yeah, Ashley Birch is awesome. But she's
not.
I
don't think it's her. I think it's
she's not being used
writing
correctly in that game when it comes to the writing and everything. Because I see Ashley Birch
that doesn't do. We're
talking about the same person that plays Tiny Tina. It's like I would never say Ashley Birch can't do what she needs to do because she brought especially if you talk about Borderlands 2 and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a wait and see approach when it comes to this game. But if they could find a way to, because I think this game would work in an MMO setting, you know, giant mechanical dinosaurs running around and having big, you know, big groups of people having to fight these world events when it comes to like a T-Rex running around and something like that. I can see that being something that would be really cool. But then again, how long would it take for that, you know, to wear off? And I think that's the biggest thing that Horizon always fights with. It's like the story is interesting, especially if you can get far enough into doing it, especially when you get into some of the DLC areas and stuff. But it's how it's the journey and the grind to get there. And they need to do a better job with that in an MMO setting if they want people to like stick with this game long term.
I don't really play games mobile.
I'm never gonna play it on mobile. It's gonna play on PC. Like I did. You see, I didn't even mention mobile. It would be played on PC.
But again, they designed this as a mobile game. So the way this game plays, what people on mobile find interesting is what NCSoft is going to provide.
True.
You know, sure, MMORPG, but this is going to be it's a mobile first experience, and when you play it on PC, it's probably going to be run very easily on your PC because it's designed for a mobile a mobile environment. It's probably not going to be all that. It may be pretty buggy. Like I played a few of these kind of games that are essentially mobile games that are just running on PC. Genshin Impact it started that way as well.
True.
Mobile first, but also available on PC, and then it was also available on PlayStation 5. But PlayStation 4, I think, when that first happened. But like on PlayStation 4 and on PC, it wasn't pushing anything on those platforms,
right?
Because it's mobile first. So when it comes to that, like, even though they said they were like taking a different approach to the combat, and I see some of that already, but like I feel like what I've found a lot with these kind of mobile games is that like the combat systems are not that deep because people are sometimes just playing this with touch controls, which
right,
there comes a level of limitation that comes with that. So my thoughts with this whole thing is that look, they outsource this to a third party, and they're making a version of this game that is mobile only. And this isn't Guerrilla doing it. This is NCSoft, who make these kind of games. And it's not coming to your PlayStation. Well,
stay with your chest, bro. Not coming to your PlayStation.
It's not coming to your PlayStation.
Hashtag no PlayStation 6. Run it up on these bums.
It's like look, I don't know about none of that. Shout out to King David, but that is not happening.
Hashtag no PlayStation 6. Let's run it up on these bums.
There's definitely going to be a PlayStation 6.
I don't know, man.
Guarantee.
The PlayStation 6 might be a handheld.
Forte, stop it.
So is the PlayStation 6 going to be a traditional console?
Yeah, it is going to be a traditional console, and it's also going to have a handheld on the side.
You want to bet money on that?
Do you want to bet money on that?
I'm asking you. Do you want to bet money on that?
Are you using King David talking points today? Is this what we're doing?
No, just asking. You want to put money on this?
Yeah, I'll definitely put money on that.
How much?
I would put you know what? Let's bet a game.
A game?
Game of your choice.
How much? What's the tier?
Any game.
Oh, any game. Yeah, you are confident. I'm not that confident.
Why would you have any confidence there would not be a PlayStation 6?
No, I'm just talking. I just wanted to see how confident you were.
Confident in that the sun will come up tomorrow? I mean, this is a freaking guarantee.
The sun is
like this is not even a.
This is
not even a conversation. The only people who believe this are people who believe King, who's messing around with you guys. Like, there's definitely going to be a PlayStation 6. Let's just I'm not even entertaining it. So, FTW in the chat said he'd owe me a PS6. I ain't want to do that because I know Forte wasn't going to bet nothing.
I ain't stupid.
Anyway,
unless I got inside knowledge.
There's only inside knowledge. There's definitely a PS6. I mean, but anyway.
I agree 100%. It's a PS6. In our dreams.
PlayStation, stop it. PlayStation, they've had first-party studios that were just mobile studios before.
Mm-hmm.
No one cared that those games that were going to mobile never came to PlayStation. This is the only reason this is a talking point is because it's Horizon, which is a game that has been on every PlayStation before. And let me say this. This is not just because I don't really care for the IP like that. Somebody need to take Herman Holst aside for a second and just let him know, hey, look, bro,
you messing it up. You messing up all our money.
I understand you used to run Guerrilla. I understand Horizon is your baby. But you're doing too much. You are oversaturating the market. This isn't even the Guerrilla multiplayer Horizon game that their Guerrilla's making. This is another one.
That's true. Don't
Like,
disagree with
and they
that.
canceled one already. They canceled another one. I'm just, yo, can we stop? You made a Horizon Lego game that nobody asked for. You made a Horizon VR game. Stop trying to make Horizon happen, please.
No, you preaching to the choir right now.
How do you have so many
Their ambition in making Horizon be a thing is
there's going to
baffling.
be there's going to be a Telltale Horizon game at some point. There's going to be a racing Horizon game at some point.
There's already a Lego one.
I stop it. Stop making this game.
They see something in Aloy, man. They see something.
I'm done. I just don't want to see it no more. And look, this one looks fine, but I just you're over. I think they have an inflated opinion of what Horizon is. And sure, the first two have sold great, but it's not an IP that people go, like it's like she's not Kratos. Aloy's not Kratos, and I'm not trying to be. That's not a sexist thing. She's just not. Kratos is a character that people, when they see him, they know exactly who that is.
I know who that is.
Right?
It's Kratos.
You see Aloy, and some people may go, yeah, okay, yeah, that's Aloy. That's Aloy. Like it's just it's not the same. And she's not even Nathan Drake. And and they don't even want to make Uncharted no more. So just like let's just wrap this up, bro. Let's just can we get one more? Make your Horizon multiplayer game, and then let Guerrilla make something else. I'm interested in them making something else at this point, because I'm not interested in seeing Horizon no more. So right. I mean, and I may be. This is definitely the personal opinion of SloMoBackSlap. If you disagree, if you are a big Horizon fan, I'm sure I'm gonna get a DM from Ramon Terrell tomorrow saying, SloMo, I was really enjoying the show until you started going in on Horizon. And I get it. I'm sorry, Ramon. It's just how I feel. But I think even Ramon can acknowledge you don't need to have this many spinoffs, this many damn games. Come on, man. Horizon cart. Joe says y'all talk about Horizon more than you play Horizon. Well, is that's I'll say that's an indictment on Horizon than us.
I'm not. I tried.
They make more Horizon games than
people play them.
Than people play. Stop making the game. Stop making them. I won't talk about it. I would love to not talk about it again. But yeah, anyway, let's move on to this final topic here. This was very, very so I saw something, and I sent it to you earlier this week that Valve was going to announce the new VR headset. I said, all right, cool. They haven't dropped nothing since the Index. It's about time they dropping something new, but probably something that's going to compete with the Meta Quest 3. All right, cool. Mm-hmm. What I didn't expect is they were going to reveal 3 new pieces of hardware. And it's really kind of set the gaming industry ablaze because of what what one particular piece of hardware really represents. And what they all are, but we're going to go through all of them so that we're really covering everything that they're doing. So Valve has revealed, as I said, 3 new hardware products to release early in 2026. These are the Steam Machine, which is a small form factor PC, the Steam Frame, which is a wireless VR headset, and a new Steam controller, which I wish they would have given a different name, because there's already something called a Steam controller, which they discontinued because no one bought it. Anyway,
right.
The Steam Frame is going to come with a wireless adapter that you can connect to your PC, and it will stream a game playing from your PC or laptop or whatever device directly to the headset. It's going to have foveated streaming. And for those who don't know what foveated streaming means, it means that when it will optimize the details of wherever your eyes are looking in the VR headset to make it so that like you're getting that greater detail in those areas and less in areas where you're not looking. That's just a waste of processing power. It will play VR games and non-VR games. It will be completely wireless. I think that sounds amazing. And as I said before, it looks like something that will actually compete with the Meta Quest 3, considering they're both wireless VR headsets. The new Steam controller comes with what they call the puck. And so it's this little device that's going to connect to, I guess, your Steam machine or your PC or whatever. And it will double as a wireless charger. It will double as a wireless charger for the Steam controller, as well as a wireless transmitter for when you're playing. This is what's receiving the signal from your controller. It's going to have 4 back buttons, gyro controls, touchpads, as we saw the touchpads below the thumbsticks for, to kind of simulate the use of a mouse, that kind of thing. And the thumbsticks are TMR thumbsticks, which is the best thumbsticks that you can get. That's something I'm interested in getting, that controller. I like controllers, I like to play around with them and stuff, and test them out. But the big thing that people seem to be really, really discussing is the third piece of hardware that they reveal, which is the Steam machine. And it is a small form factor PC that looks a lot like an Xbox Series X that got cut in half. It'll be running Steam OS, not Windows, and they are marketing it as a 4K gaming machine at 60 frames per second.
Well,
yeah. Okay. Before Forte, you get into it, let me go through the specs on the Steam machine, because I think this is definitely going to be the bulk of what we're discussing. And it's definitely going to be, when people look at this podcast, this is going to be the part that people are really going to want to hear this aspect of things. Now, I wrote a tweet about this earlier this week when this came out, when I looked at the specs in detail and kind of looked and really thought on what this device is capable of doing. And I feel like a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions based upon how it looks, and they're not really listening to the things that have been said about it from people who are covering it. Now, shout out to Linus Tech Tips, even though they make a lot of mistakes, but this is something that they had said. I would really recommend people check out Linus Tech Tips' video on this, because they actually spoke with Valve engineers, they spoke with Valve marketing, and Linus was explicitly told by a Valve employee that this device will be, pricing wise, competitive with PCs. I'm gonna repeat myself, because it seems like every time I bring this up, people still try to price it with a console. Valve says they are pricing this competitively with a PC. Now, sure, there are mini PCs and they are cheaper, and and this looks like a mini PC. It is a nice small form factor, but this also has discrete CPU and GPU. This also is being marketed as a device that will play games at 4K at 60 FPS. So when they say PCs, I feel like if they were really talking about mini PCs, they would have said, hey, we're pricing this competitively with mini PCs. But they didn't say that. They said PCs. And so PCs, as we all acknowledge, are more expensive than consoles. So because it's really funny, because there's a lot of Steam fanboys out here who have been arguing against consoles for years. Arguing against closed systems for years. Arguing Steam and AMD fanboys. Arguing against 8 gigabyte VRAM GPUs. how dare you, NVIDIA? How dare you still put out GPUs like this? That's not a good GPU. 8 gigabytes of VRAM isn't good enough in this year. In current times, how dare you do that? This thing comes out with it. Well, 8 gigabytes VRAM is fine. Huh? Okay, so I had to get that ran out. These are the specs. The CPU is a semi-custom AMD Zen 4 CPU. So what does semi-custom mean? It means that they made some slight changes to an already established CPU. It isn't completely custom. They didn't completely make a custom chip or have a custom chip made by AMD for them. They took a chip that AMD already had, probably an APU, and then they remove the aspects of it that were a GPU to just have the CPU be discrete by itself. It has 6 cores and 12 threads. And it goes up to 4.8 gigahertz. I would say this is a good CPU.
Yep.
This is probably the best aspect of this hardware itself. The CPU is good. It's better than what's currently in the current consoles right now in the Xbox Series consoles, as well as the PS5 and PS5 Pro. It's a good CPU.
I agree.
The GPU, though. The GPU was not impressive in any way, shape, or form. It's very slow. This is a semi-custom AMD RDNA 3 GPU. With the CU count and with its VRAM limitation of 8 gigabytes VRAM, this is on par, slightly below what an RX 7600 is. Now, RX 7600 is on par with my son's RX 6050 XT that I bought him for $250 maybe about 3 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago. He basically plays games at 1080p on that thing. Sometimes 1440p if the game isn't too demanding. That's not an 8 gigabyte GPU should not be purchased in 2025. We have seen games like Resident Evil 4 Remake run out of VRAM and crash no matter what resolution you put it at.
Yep.
With 8 gigabyte VRAM GPUs. Why do people who freely acknowledge this was an issue, freely acknowledge 8 gigabyte VRAM GPUs should not be bought or used in modern PCs today, and yet this is cool? Okay, it has 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM. Okay. I would prefer 32, but whatever. It will also come in 2 different models with 2 different storages. The lower model will have 512 gigs of NVMe SSD, and there'll be a 2 terabyte model. Storage is extremely expensive right now. I do wonder how they're going to get a contract for that would make that feasible for 2026. In addition to this, the last thing I'll say here is that display inputs, they got DisplayPort 1.4, awesome. HDMI 2.0 is there. I don't think anybody's going to use that because it's HDMI 2.0 and that's outdated. But somehow they put on their spec sheet support up to 4K at 120 hertz. Sorry, HDMI 2.0 does not do 4K at 120 hertz. It does 4K at 60 hertz. So don't even use that if you're going to get this thing. Just use DisplayPort 1.4. It's the marketing for me that makes this whole thing kind of like iffy, because you're marketing it as a 4K machine with FSR, but FSR sinks, especially this is usually FSR 3, and in the games that people have tested, in the testing that we've seen, like Cyberpunk, for example, they were literally doing, and people slowed down and screenshot the settings that they showed, that Digital Foundry showed when Digital Foundry played it. They were playing the game on a 4K TV at 4K with FSR performance mode, which is hideous, with medium settings and no frame gen. And of course, they had frame gen off because they would have turned frame gen on. The ghost thing would have made you act like whatever, right? So,
right.
I think this is something that if you just want something to put under your TV and it's going to be a secondary gaming experience, sure, whatever. Like if the price is right, because we'll get to the price in a minute. But like, this isn't going to be a main driver. If you're a console player, if you're coming from a PS5 Pro, let's say you got a PS5 Pro, and you want to get into PC gaming, like I wouldn't get this. I would go look at other makers that make mini PCs that are more powerful than this. I would do that, or I would build my own, or get another pre-built. I wouldn't go this route because this is too limited, and there are going to be new games that are coming out. The more and more games that keep coming out that push fidelity higher, that become harder to run with current hardware, the harder this thing is, the worse this thing is going to look. And so I know that sounds super negative. I'm not saying it's a bad product. I just think that when they say they're pricing it competitively with PCs, this is not going to be cheap. This is going to be more expensive than a PS5 Pro, more expensive than where they are at right now in a Xbox Series X. There are people out here who are thinking it's going to be $400. You have lost your mind. No. More than likely, I would say at the minimum, that 512 gig version is going to be $700. But I'm thinking roughly kind of around like $800 for this. If I went into PC Part Picker and built in PC Part Picker, picked out parts that were available that I could buy right now. I did this 2 days ago. Oh, wait, a day ago. Yeah, a day ago. Parts that I could buy right now that match this. Now, of course, I'm going to caveat this with the fact that Valve is going to have contracts with manufacturers. They're going to allow them to get these parts cheaper for mass production. And I understand that. That's why when I tell you how much it would have cost me to build this machine, I'm going to tell you how much I think it will cost because it's going to be cheaper than that. It cost me $935 if I wanted to go out and build my own Steam machine. More than likely, they're going to be able to get the CPU and GPU cheaper than what I would have got, which in their like the GPU I was able to get was like $250. The CPU was like $160. They'll be able to get them cheaper than that, but you're starting from like around 900 range. It's going to be like $800, man. $750, $800 is what we're talking about, and I just think that is too much for I would say sub entry level PC. And what makes it sub entry level is this GPU. This GPU by itself, to me, makes it a non-starter, and in my opinion, in regards to like the kind of options that I guess the kind of demographic they want to market this to. Okay, I'm done speaking because I've been running my mouth. Forte, what are your thoughts about this whole thing?
We're gonna make this real quick. 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck. You're comparing your brand new piece of hardware that's not portable to a portable device that inherently we all know portability and power do not go together. So we already know the thing is going to be underpowered, and you're not buying it for that reason. So you saying that 6 times more power than the Steam Deck, okay, what does that mean? Because a Steam Deck isn't meant to be hooked up to your TV. You can do it if you get the Steam Dock and you can hook it up to a TV and play it that way. But I would bet anybody that has a Steam Deck and wants to play TV games at home probably has a very powerful PC alongside it. I would just guess that that's probably the case. 60 frames per second with FSR 4K. Now, not just see, now I will give them credit for being 100% transparent by saying 4K 60 frames per second with FSR. But like you said, SloMo, FSR sucks.
Yes, it's the worst upscaler.
It sucks. So,
and the fact that like performance mode, just real quick, in order to do FSR performance at 4K, so you're rendering 1080p. That's what you're rendering. You're rendering 1080p, and from 1080p to 4K, it's generating that with FSR
on a and this is the thing that kills it, like you just said, SloMo. And I want everybody to rewind that and go back to hear what he just said. You're taking 1080p and blowing it up to 60 frames, 4K, 60 frames per second with FSR. And a Steam machine is meant to be hooked up to what, SloMo? A monitor or a 50 to 60 to 70 inch TV screen?
Yeah, it's not going to look pretty.
Yeah,
the ghost thing, the artifacting that will occur, like performance mode. The only performance mode, and look, you need to do the. Let me just start. Not need, because this is a PC. So look, like you don't have to play it at 4K. Okay,
you don't. No.
We all get that. You could play that. Yeah, you could play it at 1440p, right?
You play it at 1080p.
But like, you can play 1080p. Yeah, but it's just that. That's how they marketed it. And so when people see the marketing and they go, oh, I could get 4K 60 on this device, and then they realize like they're gonna have to do some tweaking and twerking to get it to look right.
Shit, more twerking
like that's just not right. So it's just like that's not the experience that you're marketing. And I think some people like, I don't know, I see a lot of Steam fanboys hyping this up, and they're gonna get it. And I see some curious console gamers that are interested in it, and I feel like I think both sides are gonna end up really being disappointed.
Y'all just reaching
in the grand scheme of things, yeah, because this is not the device that that VR headset looks awesome. I think if you're into VR, get that.
Oh, the frame?
I think
that mug look nice.
I think that thing is going to compete with the Meta Quest 3. I think it's going to be at a price that people consider to be affordable for VR. Go for it. The controller, I'm gonna give it a shot. I think the controller might be something that might be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But this thing, this ain't it. This is maybe Steam Machine 2 will hit the mark. But I think the GPU is really going to be the bottleneck to why this machine isn't going to go so well. In addition to the fact that you only got 16 gigs of VRAM, and at this point, that's the bare minimum that you can play games with. 16 gigabyte, I said VRAM, I meant RAM. 16 gigabyte RAM in general is the bare minimum that you can really go with. And like people are just ignoring these things.
Yep.
And the only saving grace I really think they have is the fact that they said they put this out here now so that developers would ask for dev kits. And I think, and here's the bright light at the end of the tunnel here. Because Steam is so big, this is very different than, say, some other platform getting dev kits. I think this would be great for PC gaming overall.
Yep.
Because for the most part, in PC gaming, we get developers that put their game on PC. They barely optimized it. They're relying on brute force of your hardware to run it well, and they try to use frame generation and upscaling to do all the work that they could have did themselves. And we've seen this with the Xbox Series S actually being a benefit to all games. So like remember when Baldur's Gate 3 didn't launch on Xbox on time, and then later on, Larry and said, hey, look, we had to really kind of change some things of how we work with our game engine, change some a lot of the things of how we use memory and RAM in order to get this working. And it ended up becoming, because Act 3 apparently was a complete mess on all platforms, it ended up making Baldur's Gate 3 a more optimized, more performant game on all platforms, because they changed the way they had to have the game develop in order to make it work on the Xbox Series S. Same thing with Battlefield 6. DICE developers said that due to it crashing consistently on the Series S, they had to change how much memory they were using in their assets in order to make it run consistently and stable-wise on the Series S. They ended up benefiting everything, PlayStation, PC, all platforms, and then the game runs fabulous on everything. What I'm saying here is that them pushing for dev kits means that there will be a Steam machine preset, the way there's a Steam Deck preset for games that are running on the Steam Deck, and this will make it so that in order for devs to have the dev kit to make sure their games run well on this compromised hardware, which is what the Steam machine is, it's going to benefit everyone else.
Yep.
On more powerful hardware. So that's the silver lining here. That I hope it does well. I hope it's mass adopted to the point where developers are saying, sure, let's put our game in there. Let's get a dev kit. And then realizing in order to make it work with 8 gigabytes of VRAM, I'm going to have to make some changes. And then those changes end up spreading to being changes that work for everyone else. With my 16 gigabytes of VRAM and Forte's 24. So
woo, shout out that 24.
That's what I'm hoping that will happen out of this. But that machine itself, yeah. I mean, that's just yeah. My bad. I cut you off to say that. Go ahead and continue.
Oh,
sir.
no. You're good. You're good. But I want to, where is it? I just had it. I was reading through the thing, and is this it right here? Oh, yeah. Tech specs. Something I need you, I want you to emphasize on.
Mm-hmm.
When a company says semi, not fully custom, meaning we just went far enough to say it was custom, that is not the same, but it's still kind of a remnant of something else. So we have a semi-custom AMD Zen 4 6C. We have a semi-custom AMD RDNA 3 28 CUs for the GPU. Whenever I see the word semi in something, it lets me know it's like, okay, you just took existing hardware.
Real quick, I just want to say this real quick.
Yeah.
For those, it's a PC. It's a PC that you cannot fully change everything, upgrade everything out of it. Like entry level is typically like you buy a pre-built entry level PC, you look at it, and then you play around with it for a while, and you say, you know what, this could be better. That could be better, and then you actually buy the part, and then you go upgrade it yourself, that kind of thing. So you actually can upgrade the RAM. You can upgrade the storage. It's the same way you can upgrade your storage in the Steam Deck, and you can do that with this Steam machine as well. So you could get it, as soon as you get it, buy the necessary RAM to upgrade it to whatever you want to upgrade it to. You could throw 64 gigs in there if you want to. So that's fine. You just right. Like you got to think about total cost of things. This thing's likely going to be at the bare minimum like $750. And then with how much RAM costs right now,
man,
where you're this is DDR5 RAM. Okay, so you have to get DDR5 RAM. That's pretty expensive, and so that's going to be an expensive addition that you're spending in addition to this device in order to put that in there with your 8 gigabyte VRAM GPU. Go ahead. My bad. Continue.
No. I mean, that's it. That's just mostly, it's customization there. I mean, is it going to be good for somebody? I don't want to just crap on it because but the price point that this is going to be at is almost behooved to the point where it's like, just get the real thing. Get the real thing and get an HDMI cable and just hook it up to your TV. Like, they have mini ATX form factor cases that, yeah, is it as small as this Steam machine? No, but you can get pretty goddamn close. And in some of these small ATI cases, you can get a full-fledged like 4080 in it, like with breathing room, and not compromise on the performance at all. But I just feel like does this have a place? Yes, because I do think a lot of people are tinkering with the fact of wanting to move over to PC. Especially and on the end of Valve and Steam, or just Valve in general, this probably couldn't come at the best. Probably couldn't come at a better time. PlayStation moving out of their games to other platforms, conversations having about, games not being exclusive for as long as they are, making its way to other systems. Xbox already has their games everywhere. They're going to have a partnership when it comes to integration with Steam, when it comes to the to Xbox and the dashboards and everything like that. Connectivity, unified connectivity on Windows, even knowing, Steam would rather work out of a Linux base, they're still 99% of their user base operates on a Windows, kernel. So they're going. So Windows 12 and that unified
that's another
experience.
benefit to this.
Go ahead.
So a lot of these games, in comparison to a similar built PC running Windows, this Steam OS runs games more efficiently because there isn't a lot of the bloat that comes with a Windows OS there. So, and if you look at people like the Fox, he's like the gamer Nexus version of handhelds. He does really good work. Check out his channel if you haven't already. He does his own testing, his own profiling for handhelds, PC handhelds in particular, and he has shown that like similar spec handhelds running the same games will run better on Steam OS than on Windows handheld. And so like he's seen the Steam Deck OLED really kind of like hanging with Windows handhelds. They really ain't got no business hanging with when it comes to performance, because those Windows handhelds, like hardware wise, are actually more powerful than the Steam Deck OLED. But it's there because, again, Steam OS, less bloat, less less need for power consumption in order to get the same level of performance, that kind of thing with the TPM, TDP, whatever you want to call it. I said TPM. TDP. Yeah. So it's late. Y'all know I'm tired. But it's just that kind of stuff like will be to its benefit, in that you're getting dev kits. So like guaranteed, because CDPR does this for every new thing that comes out. It even got Cyberpunk looking great on the Steam Deck. Switch 2. That when this Steam machine comes out, Valve is going to be showing off Cyberpunk the way they showed it off behind the scenes with all the games, the tech media people as a showcase. And CDPR is going to have a Steam machine preset, a Steam like version all laid out of it. That's going to run great for that game. It's just that outside of Cyberpunk, other devs aren't going to put that much tender love and care on it. So,
oh yeah, I agree 100% with that.
Yeah,
I think that's
it's
basically
it's late, bro. Are you anything else you want to say on this before we get up out of here?
No, I mean, at this point, man, it's gonna be a working process to see. I mean, Steam machines have a bad reputation as of right now, but I think they waited long enough for a lot of that to cycle out, and we're definitely in a different generation of gamer now. And like I said, the biggest thing that's in their favor is the fact that a lot of people are looking to move to PC, but I'm just gonna tell people now, whatever this price is, don't just say I want to get it. Look at the price that this is and go to PC Park Picker. Get one of your friends that has a PC and build out an actual PC that's better than this and see how much that difference in price is going to be. They may surprise the world and this thing might only be $1,000. I doubt it.
I don't think it's gonna be 1,000.
No, I think it's gonna be well north of this.
Well, you think it's gonna be more than 1,000?
Well, you said more than PS5 Pro is $749. So what do you think? 800?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's what I'm kind of thinking too. 800. Yeah, but I just feel like at $800, you're knocking on the door of just building a PC at that point.
See, here's the thing, right? It's DOA at $1,000. I think we can all acknowledge
absolutely.
That. But this also, remember how Valve sells things. They don't go to major retailers. They now start working with your company to get like pre-owned or refurbished Steam Deck sold. That thing's been out for over 3 years now, and they're just now doing that. Like, more than likely, this Steam machine is only going to be sold through the Steam storefront. They're going to get 100% of the revenue on it. They're not sharing profits with anybody. They're not sharing with other retailers. And so, although that allows them to basically not get overwhelmed with orders and deal with all the troublesome logistics of trying to get as many mass producing so many units out there and then having them shipped out to retailers all over the world, they can just do it all themselves and they can manage that. Now the downside of that is that if you're interested in this thing, you better make sure when things go live,
you gotta be there day one.
Spamming F5
because there's gonna be
you getting that thing in there. Because like it's gonna be a bunch of people trying to buy it, and a lot of them Steam fanboys are gonna jump on it whether it's a good value or not at the price, and it's gonna be hard to get because there's not gonna be a lot of places that are gonna be selling them. And with that said, it's gonna be one of those like the Valve Index, which was their $1,000 VR headset. That thing sold out immediately because they didn't make a good number of them. They didn't make so many of them that they're like, oh man,
they pretty much made that thing to order.
This. Right. And so a lot of that is going to happen here because that's just how Valve does business. Like you're not going to get a massive number of these being sold and distributed massively. And so that will allow them to be able to say, hey, look, we're doing good because it's going to be an item that's hard to get, but it's $800, I think.
I
think that's what
I can see it.
$800 at the most, like $900 for the 2 terabyte version.
I can see that too.
But yeah,
but that's it.
Yeah, man. Let everyone know where they can find you, Forte.
Game Forte, YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, PlayStation, DPS podcast next week. The homeboy SloMoBackSlap. Iron Lords podcast this weekend. Shout out to Cognito for his birthday. For his birthday. Won't be here, but I'll be over there with them, holding it down, talking about all this other stuff. But outside of that, man, not committing to anything because we're going into the holiday season and stuff. 2 weeks, we're literally 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So I do want to get another Death Stranding stream. I'll touch base with SloMo so he can get a thumbnail made. Maybe we'll do it this week, but I do want to get one within the next 2 weeks so we can at least get one in before Thanksgiving. So I will let people know by next podcast, we'll have if we don't have it next week, we'll have one the week after that, guaranteed, because I want to do one before the end. But outside of that, man, great show as always. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. I just ended the poll that I started before we got the podcast started. 40% of you are playing Black Ops 7. Another 40% of you are playing Dispatch. 13% of you are playing Arc Raiders and 7% are playing Marvel Rivals. So, everyone who participated in the poll, appreciate you guys for letting us know that. I think that's fairly interesting, or what people are currently playing right now. I know YouTube doesn't give you a ton of options.
You didn't put Destiny in there, they would have told you 1%. Probably somebody probably wouldn't even have voted for it. It probably wouldn't have got voted for.
Right. For myself, am I going to stream it? I mean, I finished Dispatch. I don't know if there's anything I want to. I don't know if there's anything I want to stream right now. I don't know. Maybe I'll stream Black Ops. I don't know. I just been.
If you want to see toxic slow mo, let him stream.
Oh no, I'm not toxic at all.
Toxic slow mo.
Am I toxic? Really?
Your gameplay says you're toxic, though.
My game, but
the way you play is toxic as hell.
Dude, okay. You play with me. I don't talk trash.
You don't talk trash. You don't.
Unless they talk trash to me first, and then I'll say some slanderous stuff.
SloMo is the first one to finish a conversation when he hears the over the mic go live and people saying, "Go talk to your mom. You suck." Then SloMo just lets people have it. So toxic. Well, go ahead, SloMo.
Oh man, yeah, he said calling SloMo toxic goes a whole different way after playing Dispatch. Yeah, there's a. Wow. Yeah. So what's funny with Dispatch? I'm gonna say this real quick because the character in person. I've seen so many people's first episode of Dispatch, like other people streaming like I did, and they get to the part in the settings where it says to censor nudity. And they're like, "Oh man, I'm streaming on Twitch. I'm streaming on YouTube. I'm not trying to get."
Their humanity clicks in. Like, do I want to take this off?
They think they're gonna see some titties, right?
Right.
It's so wrong. It's because the amount of people that was just like, "Oh, it's dongs. Oh, wait a minute. Like I wasn't expecting this." I wasn't expecting penises in my face, like because when they said straight, I mean there is some female nudity, but it's like the first episode, it's not what you was expecting. Like when they said censor nudity, you were like, oh,
okay, I'm a guy playing the game. It can't be that bad.
It's gonna be some animated cheeks,
some A&T in this.
All right, there's gonna be some animated cheeks out here. Maybe I will keep the censorship off, and then they go, "Oh, wait a minute!" Like 15 minutes in,
I don't want to see
this. Censor. I don't want to see that.
I can imagine.
But no, I'll figure out what I'm gonna stream. Maybe I'll make it a surprise. We'll see, man. But I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. And enjoy your games, man. Peace.
That's funny. The first playthrough.
I was like, whoa.